Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What up, gang?
What
It's react
up?
and draw. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we want.
Facts. We're here today. We're gonna talk about Borat. You know what I'm saying?
That's
We're
right.
gonna talk about Ali
How
G right now.
Ali G, straight up, a straight up G, and a new Disney Marvel superstars.
Booyakasha.
Dropping in cameos on A-list MCU shows. How about that?
I don't know. I couldn't not. Obviously, as you could tell, we marked this video for spoilers, so I just jumped right into this damn spoiler because I mean, who cares, right? We got in here. Alpha Proto's
Well,
in
we didn't
here.
say who. Yeah, we didn't say who he was.
That is
Yes.
true. We did not say who he was.
Yeah.
Alpha Proto
By the way, it's
says
4th of July is almost coming soon. That means that the hood will be full of explosions in the sky.
right, and it would not be Riri crashing out the sky. It will be
Right. It's from YNs outside doing unregulated
behavior.
nonsense.
People with no parental control.
Yeah. Like Riri Williams.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, exactly. 100% no parental control.
And her gang of hood rat heroes, right?
Soft hood rats.
But anyway, thanks for everybody stopping by. We got Alpha Proto in the chat, right? He's chilling.
Why? And Alpha Proto's so innocent. Were you asking what it meant, or did you?
I don't know. You got to go to Urban Dictionary on this one. Like, I can't.
The YouTube regulation will not allow me to say.
Use your imagination.
I mean, I guess we could say, but I'm trying to keep this show PG-13. You know what I'm saying? What did he say here? He said, "I don't know this hood slang. It stands for young nibbers." So this stands for. They have a chart, by the way. There's a chart. I saw this on
Young science enthusiasts.
right.
Okay?
Young scholars, young
Mutual architectural students of America. Okay. Like,
I saw
future honor roll recipients. Okay.
I saw a chart. Oh man, I wish I still had it. It was a guy video. He was breaking down like the slang by age. I think it was like age like 1 to 5. What was that? I don't think it was a youngin. Age like 1 to 5, or it was like 1 to 6 or something. It was like LN, little nibbers, and then like YN was like like from that age up to about like 25, and then from 25 to 35 is big bro, and then from 36, what was it? Like 36 to 44 is unk. And then after that, it was OG. And
Makes sense.
there was one beyond that, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. AG? I don't know. Ancient G?
No, you can't use AG is for AG is for lesbians actually. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know this.
Yeah, it
It's
stands
a
for
JG, like
it stands,
Jurassic gangster. Like, is that?
I mean,
I don't know. We learn as we go when it comes to the slang.
yeah, I forgot what the last one was. I gotta remember it. Outfro says, I usually avoid spoilers so I can form my own opinion on a show without manipulation. After what I heard, I decided I wasn't going to watch the show and jumped into all the spoilers. Listen, I'm going to say right now, like, you're not really missing much. And this comes from a person who was religiously, like, skipping Marvel stuff. I decided to come back for, I keep saying it was Daredevil. It's not. It was Deadpool and Wolverine. I came back for that. Whatever happened between Deadpool and Wolverine and the Thunderbolts, I skipped the middle, which I guess was just Captain America.
Right.
So I skipped that, and then I came back for Daredevil, and then tried to watch Thunderbolts, which was whatever. It was all right. And then I was definitely going to skip this, but I don't know but like everyone was talking about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, let me see what the heck is going on here, just out of morbid curiosity. I don't know if they call is this considered hate watching? I don't know if it's considered.
I don't know. It's a review. It's like
Man, it's a review.
I don't. I was like the one. You said we decided to get on sync and watch it.
Yes.
It wasn't just the last stream Sean saw, and
Yeah.
I did not see it. Now I've seen it.
Right.
You have to see it to believe it, apparently. But I don't know. Like if I watched it and it was genuinely awesome, I would say so. Like I'm not gonna be like on some, trying to be part of the herd and just trying to diss it just for being like about Riri Williams and some popular character and certain YouTube circles.
Right.
But yeah, there were it was a show.
It was
What I'm
definitely a
saying?
show.
It was definitely the showiest of shows this year.
It was
It
something.
did something, It did something,
I will.
It's a lot to unpack, really,
It
because
is.
it was only 6 episodes, and a lot of stuff happened in it.
Yes.
There was certainly a lot of content smushed into these 6 episodes, and kind of not too.
Right.
Like it was a lot of
Like everything and nothing happened at once.
yeah, it's kind of a strange show. I would say it did have production values. I would say that
Oh yeah.
they somehow like I don't know, it didn't skimp on the budget for some reason. Like if they should have like funneled some of that budget into the storyline. It had an editor or something. Whatever. I don't want to get into it right now,
Right.
but
As
I'll
a,
get
as
into it when Sean's ready. When
yeah,
he's ready to
I
go.
would say as a preview to follow up what I was saying last week about Riri. I previously stated. By the way, I don't think the format we're gonna go by tonight is like going over every plot point in order, but just like an overall like a show in overall. I guess I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I previously stated that Riri was unbearable, and she still is. However, upon the completion of the show, it actually took Riri's actions into consideration. So I have to be fair to that because it did. But then it ended up being a show that I'm like, this is the story we're telling? Odd. So now that's why the title, I'm like, is this a superhero show?
I guess
Ah,
so.
it's like a show about the bad decisions you could make with superhero elements. It's not a superhero show. I don't know. To me. But yeah, so we both down the episodes, and you know that was fun. Hold on, what does it say here? Alfredo said Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty much the end of 20th Century Fox. Ironheart is a leftover from 2022. Yeah, this was having production problems, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hold on, give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were production.
Alfredo said the show is a supervillain origin story. I mean, I 20.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was some like I mean, dang, it's like it's such a weird show. It's like it pivots in certain directions, and it's like they made a lot of interesting choices. I can't. I just got to get into it. Like, look, the show is weird. Okay, it's oddly structured.
Yes.
I mean, at one point, like around episode 4, it seemed like it was going in a direction,
Yes.
and it started to pick up the pace with actual action scenes and stunts, and actual character motivations, and then it kind of just reverted back to whatever it was doing in the past 3 episodes.
Oh right, episode 4 was when it was all coming to a head. Like she was going out of control. Yes, I remember.
A lot of scenes of like people just talking and repeating the same things that they said in the other episodes. They do that new millennial writing and stuff where they actually have to recap what happened it previously through dialogue,
Right.
like with every other character in a quirky way, the quirk chungus millennial writing style that they'd use,
Mm-hmm.
self-referential, quasi Joss Whedon writing, like the people who Joss Whedon's a child, the children of Whedon, like
Well, I'm
you
glad
know.
I'm glad you explained it that way because I was trying to understand. Like the I
And if you and if you watch like Buffy and you watch Angel, the Joss Whedon shows, the show's actually written better than what they have right now. But everyone calls it the Whedon-esque writing or something, or the whatever. The what I mean is when a character's in a room and then they say, "Do you realize that I fell off the roof? I got shy. You know, I met a supervillain. You know what I'm saying?" They recount everything in detail. I met a supervillain that has a cloak that could make him disappear. So yeah, I had a really bad day. Like they always have to have like every character says like a line like that. They recap what happened before. It's just like, ugh.
modern humor.
I feel like they're just doing that to pad out the episode.
It does sound like that though. Like, and when the characters go into those like weird moments, it doesn't even seem like on character. It just
Right.
seemed like, oh, it's time for me to do one of these lines, and I'm like, what are we doing, bro?
And it seems like those that style delivery is for like a lighter show. And like the show's, I don't know, aesthetic and like film lighting and whatever color grading is like for like a darker show, like a grim and gritty
Right.
show. And I don't know. There's a lot of weird like tonal issues and
The last
pacing
episode had
issues.
weird tonal issues.
Right.
I was just like, all right, let's do a small recap. Like, I'm not going to go into
Okay.
detail. I'm not
Sure.
going to
Go ahead
go.
and recap.
All right, so recap. The show starts with Riri. She's getting kicked out of school, out of college. This comes after Wakanda Forever, where she was helping out, Wakanda with their trials and tribulations. She comes back and she's in school and she gets kicked out because she's running experiments that are damaging equipment. So they decide to expel her. She decides that she's had enough of that because she wanted to use, her inventions and the suit in order to help humankind and to be able to, be a benefit to society. So she then gets into the suit that was being funded by the school, I believe. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then she flies off. The the school shuts down her system. She crashes, and now she's in her hometown of Chicago. She needs money to get the suit funded, and she runs into this criminal bunch that tell her that she's gonna get money. She's apprehensive at first, but your man's Parker, aka the Hood, opens who is the main villain, opens up a box full of cash, and that was enough for her to drop all her morals and say, "Cool, I got it." After he listed off every type of crime that he was going to be involved in, Riri seemed to think that this was a great idea as long as she could get her ideas funded. For the rest of the show, for the remaining of the show, her dreams and aspirations of helping humanity disappeared, and everything seemed to be about getting respect, money, and cash. Okay, very, very, very hip hop, very stereotypical. And it went in line with the rest of the gang because that seemed what they were after, which is cash, money. You know what I'm saying? And then
Even a scene where they're making it rain, like they got all the dollar bills and they're like, doing this,
right,
stuff. So it's like very hip hop coded, and
yes, very,
I
very.
guess it fits with the vibe they're trying to do. But go on.
So I was trying to figure out while I'm watching this, and I'm like, Am I supposed to think that this is okay? Because I'm thinking in my head that they want me to like Riri. That's what I thought at first. Like, I mean, she's taking over Iron Man's mantle of sorts, right? And of course, I think she threw at least one, but no, about two jabs at Tony, saying I don't want to roast him, but he was a billionaire. I had nothing to, which most of the internet is saying. Well, Tony built his thing in a cave while he had his heart about to be punctured. So Riri doesn't really have an excuse. And I guess to that example, that fits into the Marvel universe. She doesn't have an excuse, but however, woe is me, according to her. And they go on these heist. The crew, which I would deem the softest criminal crew in existence, decides to infiltrate these companies and take them over with contracts after damaging and or killing the security guards of said companies, and then they kind of make themselves partners of the companies. In the middle of this, Riri is using her actual suit to help along with these crimes, and that's the last place where I stopped last week. Now, my gripes from last week is, barring the fact that Riri does not have any redeemable features because she is greedy, self-centered, and selfish, which led me to the fact that there were only three redeemable characters in my eyes in the show at that point, as per episode 3, which was her new AI bestie, which was modeled after her best friend Natalie, who had passed away, and this haunts Riri, and she kind of made Natalie by mistake. Her mother seemed fine. Oh, I guess the other guy, I forgot his name. The one who is not her boyfriend, like, like,
Right.
and then there was somebody else. Oh, Joe, who at the time I guess he was like some kind of black market guy or something. But as soon as Riri meets him, she basically goes to him because she needs some kind of arc reactor. Now, yes, Riri's actions were completely selfish, but beyond that, I had to throw that aside because somebody could argue and say, "Oh, you just don't like her because you didn't like the comics," or the thing that they're throwing around on the internet, "You don't like her because she's black," or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever excuse. Forget all of that. Writing, horrendous. I don't understand. So this woman decides to start doing crimes. So she agrees to the crimes. All right, problem number one, she agreed to the crimes. Okay, maybe that's a character flaw. But if you're going to do a crime, do not take some little boy's wagon to drag around your Ironheart suit parts in broad day Chicago to go get it fitted with an arc reactor to then go on the crimes later. So I don't understand something about the show because apparently Chicago PD doesn't exist. Like, I don't get it. I saw security guards. I saw a bunch of security guards. I did not see one. No, sorry. No, there was like two policemen. My bad. And they came to investigate something that wasn't the fault of Riri. But somehow Riri escapes the cops' glare, even though she's flying around helping out with these crimes. So I didn't understand. That seemed like basically horrendous writing, which is basically her dragging around the suit and her committing the crimes in the suit, and somehow that led to no repercussions at all. And this is me just excusing the fact that Riri is selfish, which I later discovered has a point, I guess. But yeah, so that was what I went over last week, and I'll take a break there to look at some of these comments. So I gotta ask, does it look like they spent 200 million? Yeah, I mean the effects are good. Uh, I will say there's not many effects because there's not many fights, really. Actually,
Yeah, you would think a movie that cost $250 million would have a lot of fights in it. I don't know what 250 million buys you nowadays. I remember like back in the day, Armageddon cost like probably, I don't know, whatever, 180 million, $120 million, and they blew up like a planet. They destroyed some of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, there's not any kind of extinction level events happening. There's
No,
no real supervillain fights that last more than like 1.5 minutes, if that.
you're lucky for a 1.5 minute.
Most of them is like they're like filming it like the layer the guys hang out, the villain, some garage where she's building stuff. They had a scene in episode 3 where they're on some kind of what there's some there's like a platform outside in the ocean or something,
Yes.
and they're trying to, they have to do a heist there, and they have to, yeah. So there's a little action, little fight scenes in there, but it's nothing mind blowing that would you would think that it would be $250 million worth.
No.
That's a lot of money, brother. That's more money than like Thunderbolts, I think.
Well, I guess it would say this is 6 hours worth of a show or something, but
It's true.
nothing.
And it's not like they had like big actors. Like the biggest actor in the show was like what, the dude that played Han Solo, and the dude from Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they were the biggest actors.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Borat, that cameo. Right?
Oh, right.
He's in it for a total of 45 seconds, but whatever. Like,
High five, like, you know what I'm saying?
and I don't know, a blink, if like a minute cameo for Paul Calderon. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see Paul Calderon is still alive, still getting work.
Right.
But that's about it, really. I mean,
Yeah, as far as the budget goes.
So at the end of episode 3, they're doing this heist, right? And then the villain's brother
Was it brother or
gets in.
cousin? Okay.
His cousin, his brother, is his brother, his cousin?
The villain's right
Probably
hand man.
it's probably his cousin. I thought they were related.
I
Is that a
think.
weird, like, familiar situations too? Like Riri Williams'
Let me look up the cast again.
stepfather died,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, why didn't they just make it like his real father, her real father? Like that would have hit even more and skip the stepfather, unless they want to like bring in the real father later or something as a future
Uh,
character.
maybe. Oh,
I want.
his character's name is Cousin John.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay,
So then,
it's
is it even his cousin?
well, like how they call you boy, like
As a matter of
you
fact,
grew up with
I
your
don't even think
cousin.
he's related because remember, there's a part we'll get up to. By the way, he said, "Yeah, it's his cousin." I'm so confused because in the last episode, dudes for
Oops, sorry.
no, in the last episode, wasn't dude talking about like, yeah, you came in here with your friend? I'm like, why wouldn't he know? Why wouldn't he know if that was? I'm so confused. Whatever. My man's named John. Okay, like, so yes, in the third episode, you go on there.
Anyway, we're getting spoilers, or
Yeah. Full spoilers.
whatever. Like, I mean, you said it last stream. She has a fight with cousin, whatever it was, the cousin John or
My
whatever,
man, cousin John. Yes.
because apparently Riri, she there was another dude that was you know part of the crew or tangentially part of the crew or whatever, and Riri suspected that Parker, aka the Hood, aka Transformers man, killed that guy. So apparently Riri Williams doesn't trust this dude anymore, even though he shouldn't be trusted anyway because he's a criminal, and I don't even know why she's all in his business like that. If
he
they're already like, if they're all a bunch of criminal like scumbags, they should just let him do his business, like, and not question the CEO's backdoor decisions. But apparently, I don't know. Everyone has a decision, like some kind of union shop meeting, and they want to know what's going on with the CEO's business. So she's curious about his hood. So she decides to, like, I don't know, steal a little piece of it to like analyze and do something with. I don't know.
and
You know,
this comes after an event where he shoots a guard and he bends the bullet like the bullet like he curves the bullet like wanted.
like wanted.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
they
most
shoot security guards, they beat people up, and it seems like Riri Williams is a young person, allegedly hasn't been involved in crime in the past. Maybe like there was some, I don't know, laws broken in the Wakanda movie because they were like fighting in the street or some crap. I don't know, whatever. Like that's not for real though.
right.
But she seems to be just taking this normally. It's just having her panic attacks.
See, okay, I just have to stop
But
here
the
because
panic attacks seem to be stemmed from like what happened in the past with her stepdad more than what's going on right now. It's kind of weird.
that's true. And they try to tie this in. I don't know. I just didn't understand. Well, like, am I up until the last episode, or I guess the fifth episode, really, not the second to last episode. I was just sitting there wondering, like, what am I supposed to think about Riri? What do they want us to think about Riri? And to be honest, even though it's more clear at the end of the show, I still don't know what they want me to think about Riri, except with the condemnation that she was given. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Yeah,
in.
I digress a little bit too. So anyway, I don't know. She's in the joint. She can't steal a piece of his hood at this heist. Somehow, or she did,
Yes,
right? She did, but it was kind of like hard to do. And then I don't know, cousin John got wind of what's going on and confronted her about it, and then they had a fight. And then there was a situation where her Riri triggered some kind of alarm system, which then had some kind of fail-safe method that decided to suck the air out of the entire you know plant they were in.
right,
So everyone's suffocating, had to leave, and she fighting cousin John. They're having a fight or whatever, and then like she bounces, and then like the door closes behind the cuz,
right. Locking him
and
in.
Riri's already out, and he's suffocating in the room, and he dies. And then she meets up with Parker, Transformers man, the crew, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to my boy? Like, can you find John, please?" So then she scouts around and is like, "Oh, I don't know." She's just flying around, and she has like she can read like I guess life signs to her computer or something on her,
Yeah,
and she on her whatever her suit, and finds out that he's dead.
right.
So she basically killed him, right? Like she didn't like
Inadvertently.
inadvertently. I mean, she didn't know that he was going to suffocate. I don't. The door would close behind her. Like she didn't see that part.
Right.
She
She
kind
was
of
out.
dipped out of. Yeah, she dipped out of the room. Then it was like seconds later, and then the door slammed behind him as he tried to leave the room.
Mm,
And maybe she thought like he was right behind her, right?
right.
Or if he wants to get out, he will. But I'm not going to help him
Right.
because he tried to whatever kill her, right?
Yes. And also he was gonna end up ratting out that, like, hey, Parker, she stole a piece of
Exactly.
your cloak.
And she tells, and then like I don't know, she kind of like swindles him, but then swindles the crew, thinking like, oh, she's tricking them, saying, oh yeah, they don't know anything, and she goes back home, right? And then Parker, the villain, he gets a vision from someone,
The cloak.
yes, that Riri was involved with her cousin's death.
Right.
And then when Riri gets home, she's having a nervous breakdown, talking to her AI. And later on, the AI tried to justify it, like say, like, "Oh, well, you were just doing self-defense. Like,
Mm.
why are you even worried about this?" Or something like. But it was sort of like I don't know. She's part of the crimes too, and it's just kind of like muddled in a way.
Yeah, it's very gray. Like,
And I guess that's what they were going for.
yes.
But I don't know. I guess in a way, like I started to try to get into it. I'm like, all right, this isn't going to be a superhero story, like a traditional superhero story.
Right.
It's more of like a heist thing in criminal world, like set it off for one of these movies where like they're doing the crimes, and it's just about criminals in their criminal world and how they feel about it.
Yes.
And maybe Riri is a bad person. So we get into episode 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could do it from there. You're better at recapping these things than me.
Oh man, I don't. Well, I would say by episode 4, 5, and 6, the critiques that I had about Riri being selfish, self-centered, and just a straight-out criminal were kind of a little subdued. Not because she wasn't those things, because she is. It was because that is the direction that they were going for, and that's what I
Right.
was wondering after the first 3 episodes. Like, I'm not supposed to think this is cool, right? Because this is kind of crazy that you want me to think that these are proper actions after following the Avengers who are out here saving the world. Riri is not saving anything, I guess, except for her own skin. Later, of course, going into the episodes, I'll just do it vaguely. Her family might be in danger because Parker is unhinged, you know,
Right.
and Parker can kind of tell. Well, Parker already got the info from his hood that Riri was involved. So Riri's doing not her best at all to not look sus when the whole criminal crew meets up because she's looking nervous and jittery, and Parker's just staring at her. In the middle of this, Joe, the man who Riri used to get her suit back in operational, and was basically exploiting. He ends up getting caught up in this whole mess, and the cops go and raid his house. I believe because they found pieces of equipment from that were linked to him. So now he's going down for their crimes, and this is where I'm having another script failure problem because I just need, maybe I missed something legitimately, because I'm like, okay, yes, they could link it back to him. What about the security cameras, yo? Or was that taken care of? So you link the parts back to Joe, who we've found out is what is it? Ezekiel Stain, which is Obadiah Stain's son, villain from Iron
Yeah,
Man.
Jeff Bridges from Iron Man 1, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. You linked him. I just don't understand what happened. So what happened to the guard that I still don't know whether he's alive or not? That got the curved bullet. He saw Riri face to face with her mask open. Evidence, witnesses, camera footage. I don't know what happened there. They kind of didn't explain that part, unless they did. Yeah, we saw a
I don't know.
circular camera. I don't know. I can't remember if they said that or not. So
The villains kept saying like because Riri was worried about the whether the guard was gonna live or die, and then they were like, "No, he's good. He's okay."
So they said that, but I don't know if I'm supposed to trust their word on that. They didn't confirm, but the show does not confirm whether I'm supposed to trust their word on that or not. So since I
Right.
don't know, I'm going to trust their word on that because I have no evidence to the contrary. So we're gonna say that guard is live, who saw Riri's face and saw the whole suit. And that's why I say, where in the world is Chicago PD? And how did they only catch Joe? I don't understand. That is a script problem. Okay, like I don't,
True.
who was writing this, bro? Like
It's like I felt like in maybe one of the earlier drafts that guard really did die, and that would have closed the loop on that.
right. Like
And then they decided like maybe that was too much, so they had a rewrite saying like, "Oh, yeah, he'll be okay." But then they should have had her helmet on and not be revealed, so that he would have recognized any of these people.
right.
I'm thinking that is what happened. Like it was just some kind of script rewrite draft problem. But the whole show reads like a first draft anyway. So
No, it's facts.
anyway, continue.
Yeah, so that, hold on, I'm trying to remember freaking what was it? What
It's
was
hard to
it?
remember because it's like
It's
one
like
jumble
mud.
of show, and there's a lot of like filler of like all this talking about their feelings of the past. There's a lot of padding and
I think that was
a
most
lot
of
of it you
episode
like,
4,
want
to
to
be
check
honest.
out. But anyway, like she's having panic attacks. She's freaking out. She thinks like Parker is like gonna appear in her room and stuff because she has a cloak in some kind of little cylinder chamber, and it's like acting up and
Right.
looking weird. So she gets paranoid. So she has like this watch that apparently can make a force field around someone. And when she hears a noise in her mom's room, she like runs into her mom's room, and then she had like the thing set up on like on her bed, so like the force field bubble goes around her mom's bed, and her
Right.
mom's like, "What the heck's going on?" Because she thinks like, and you bust into it. She's in full Ironheart like armor
Gear.
and burst into her room like through the door and everything. And the mom and nothing happened really. She just had the TV on too loud,
Yeah.
and there were like gunshots on the TV show she was watching. So then it's like womp 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 womp, what I'm saying, comedy moment, right?
Right.
And she's like, and then the mom said, like, "Oh, you just burst in my room like the Kool-Aid man." I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was all right. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. That
they got a line
was.
off.
You're right.
It was decent. We like the Kool-Aid man.
Right.
He's a festive character. I'm glad he's still getting shout outs and still resonating with a younger generation.
Yes.
But anyway, then she's like, "I see you stressed out, Riri. You need to help, you need help or something." And she's like, and then Riri doesn't want to tell her the whole truth that she's part of like some criminal gang that gets people killed and stuff. So
Right.
she just says, "Oh yeah, I'm just stressed out about life, and I made this AI," and tell her a soft truth,
Right.
and says, and her mom's into like witchcraft. I guess her mom's into like
Spiritual.
sage and
Yes.
stuff like people on witch talk,
Right.
people on and she's into all this. So she's like, but Riri's not into that. But so she decides to say, "Oh, I need some. Maybe I need to get into that witch stuff. Maybe you have like a whatever, some remedy for me or something, some witch remedy."
Mm-hmm.
And then her mom gets excited, like, "Oh yeah, I know just the place." So she takes him to some kind of I don't know, magic store. I don't know what you call this, like some kind of
Some shop. It's like
yeah, some shops.
a front for a magic. It's like a front for
Right. It's like
magical base of operations or something like that.
right. So they go into the store, and then the girl there is the daughter of her mom's friend, who's also into that witch stuff.
Right.
And then they're like, "Oh, give me some sage or whatever." Then she's like the shop, the shop girl there or whatever. She's like, "Oh, that's not what you really hear. You really hear for what's in Riri's pocket right now, which is like a piece of um Parker's hood that has the evil magical powers." So
Yes.
she can sense that it's in her pocket or something. And then her mom shows up, the shopkeeper's girl, who's Riri's mom's friend or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, "What is she talking about?" Whatever. And then like they pull out the thing, and then immediately like the shop girl reveals that she is also a magician and waves her hand around, and they are like sucked into the floor or something.
Yeah. To a parallel pocket dimension or something.
Right, where they can talk about their real magic business
Right.
away from the world or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And and at that point, and points before that too, I was curious, like, what are the power levels on this show? Like, you could disappear into pocket dimensions with just waving your hands around, and like little girls can do this, and young girls, I should say, can do this, and like no big deal. It's like, why is Riri Williams spending her time trying to get money and risk her life to build some robot in her garage outfit when people are like waving their hands around and going for place? Why even fly around? You could just snap your fingers and go to a pocket dimension. Like, what is the point of all this?
Well, they already covered that by saying that the mom was training in Carmitage.
So why don't Riri just train in the Kamatage too? Like, why don't we all
Well,
just train in the Kamatage?
well, I mean, that's a Marvel problem because Doctor Strange exists.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. We're gonna have to let that one slide.
That's true. They're dealing with like magic. Maybe that's why she can't get, like, she has to steal, because it's like no one really wants to fund Riri for her I don't know, untested crackpot ideas when you live in a world where Tony Stark and magic happens
Right.
and the Avengers are here. Maybe in the Marvel universe they already cured cancer and all this other stuff, even though I
I
doubt
mean,
that they did. But
I
like
would hope.
at this point they should have.
But I figured that's why they mentioned it because as soon as it said Carmitage, I'm like, oh, that's the excuse. Like she was there and then she was pregnant and then she left you know, I guess training with I don't know how long ago it was with the Ancient One or whoever was you know, doing Sorcerer Supreme stuff back then. And
But anyway, they're analyzing the cloak, and they're like, "Wow, this is really big magical stuff," you know, whatever. Like, and then Riri's mom's like, "What's going on?" You know, so she figures out like, yo, I don't know, Riri's into some trouble that she didn't tell her about, so they're reprimanding her and calling her selfish and all this. And at this point, it's kind of like, okay, we're actually addressing the part that Riri's being selfish, arrogant.
yes.
You know, she's not listening to reason. She's kind of greedy, like you know, deceitful. So it's like we're kind of addressing what everybody must be thinking at this point. So it is kind of like a hood story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like some guys going, you know, someone's going through the bad part of town, getting in with the wrong crowd, and then like the mom and the community has to get her out of. You know, it's kind of like, okay, is this what they're doing? Okay, I'll roll with it.
I do have to interject though, like the mom could be shocked, that's fine. I don't know. This might be a nitpick for me, but like, you know, like it's like even with Riri talking about like what kind of stuff is this? I never seen stuff like this before. Ma'am, we live in a world, you live in a world where Thanos wiped out like half the population, right? Like a alien,
Yeah.
a purple alien came out of space and wiped out half of the population and then it got zapped back. You also live in a world where after the multiverse of madness, freaking Gargantos, which we know as Shumagorath, but I found out recently they couldn't call him Shumagorath because of copyright reasons with Conan of all things. So they had to call him Gargantos, which is a monster that's similar that only appeared once. Except Shumagorath has powers. Anyway, that's not so you live in a world where Shumagorath like attacks New York City, right? And Doctor Strange has to like do a whole bunch of stuff to like seal this thing up, right? And somehow like you're awed and shocked by like this is weird. I don't understand this power. What are you talking about? Weird stuff
She was
happens
even
in your.
involved with, yeah.
What? You fought a flying fish man.
That's what I was gonna get at. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like she fought a giant fish man and the whole fish crew, flying humanoids with wings on their like they're fighting and flying in a secret African country.
Right.
Like, dude,
So I feel like that part shouldn't have been like she shouldn't have been taken aback by that hood that much. Like the fact that she doesn't understand how it works is understandable. The fact that she's so stumped by it like that hard, like come on, bro. Come on.
yeah, it's sort of like they're doing that to make it seem more relatable to us because we'd be like, whoa, what's going on? But in her world, it should be like not that impressive.
True, but I'm like, why even we seen mad stuff.
Yeah, I'm not impressed either. I'm just like, okay,
Like what are
it
we
doesn't matter. That's like a nitpick, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I'm just like, all right, girl. That
It's
is a
fine.
nitpick, but
It's just hard when you're overwhelmed. It's just like, oh, this is crazy. Whatever. Anyway, so what happens after that?
oh yeah, they were
So,
in the shop and
also, didn't the girl that was working in the store
mhm.
look like like the Black Jenna Ortega? Like,
Now I
like
gotta
it
go look
kind of
up the
looked like
cast.
kind of reminded me of that. Like they got someone to act like Jenna Ortega from Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Now it's like she,
Hang on now.
but I could be wrong about that.
Zelma. I'm looking at her right now.
I thought that was kind of interesting. That was I
You know
being my
what? You
imagination.
know what? I could see
Like
it.
in the way she talks and the way kind of like the way she looks and
Maybe they thought they were doing something. I don't know.
doesn't matter. Anyway,
But yeah. Yeah, they investigate the cloth and they get started the mother and the daughter, the witch mother and daughter, they are startled by it because it comes from one of the darkest dimensions. So they just don't know where or how. And they were trying, I guess, in the show was trying to deduce that it was Dormammu, which it isn't. Um, Dormammu even gonna come back? I think he tired of Strange's crap after he tried to give him, the bargain. Dormammu have come to bargain. Like I don't think like Dormammu going like mess with us anymore. Anyway, so they don't know where this piece of cloth comes from, and they're startled. And Riri starts freak. They leave. Riri and her mother have a little arguments because she's like, "Why don't you come for me with this stuff? Why don't you tell me what's going on?" He was like, "I still don't want to tell you what's going on." She flies off, and in the middle of flying, she starts having a panic attack, and Natalie, who controls her suit, has to land and be like, "Look, like you need to calm down." She couldn't calm down, so she decides to go get. Hold on, let me go get the cast member's name, man, because I do not remember this character's name. I shouldn't. Xavier. That was the dude. The not boyfriend dude. I don't know how else to explain him.
Well, they were trying to set up that they were having a romantic thing, and even the AI asked, like, "Oh, did you guys make out or something?" Like, so they were setting that up a little bit, and she was like, "No, I don't got time to make out right now. We're, not having real problems." So I guess they will be like in a relationship, maybe or not. They want to tease it.
I guess so.
Spoiler alert, they did not resolve that. Like, it was more like will they, won't they stuff. It's just like, with the leaning towards they will kind of thing. But
I don't know. These new modern MCU unions are so weird. It's kind of also it's getting to like Power Ranger levels, American Power
right,
Rangers levels. So like, I
right,
don't
like
I
they
don't I
don't
don't even feel like they're going. It might be a Shang-Chi or something. I'm just like, yeah, there ain't nothing going to happen.
right, they don't want any like men and women like getting together kind of stuff. Or maybe they were hoping like they would do it next season. They will like not. I mean, like they will do the relationship
Next season.
thing next season.
What's the ratings on this show anyway? Is anybody watching it besides YouTubers? I don't...
By the way, thanks for everyone stopping by on the stream. If you would be so kind, just leave a like on the video so we get
Yes.
more people coming on the stream
Yes,
for
yes,
the
please.
algo. But thank you guys stopping by. Let me do a chat break. We got Alpha Proto says, from what I've seen, the CG is well done. Yeah, it's like special effects are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like she's flying around, the suit doesn't look jank.
Right.
Of course, it wasn't like a super ambitious show. Like they didn't have like air battles and people crashing into buildings and any of that stuff. It was, very grounded, maybe too grounded on the fight level.
Too grounded for us for a show about a metal suit.
Right, metal suit, magic cloaks, ancient beings. Like it's like you would think it would be like the craziest super fights, and like you'll find like more action content in a CW show probably.
Man, I feel like there was probably more action than. I mean, there's probably less action than like I don't know. What was that joint with Idris? Dark Tower, like something like.
Right, and this thing costs $250 million. You'd think it would have like a huge, crazy fight like Shang-Chi or something.
Right.
I'm picking. I'm not saying I was a fan of that movie because I wasn't.
No, no.
But I'm saying even that had more like action content than
Yeah.
this show, and it probably cost the same amount of money. Thunderbolts, you saw Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts had more action than this, right?
Yes. Yes, actually, yeah.
And more of a bigger scope to the action. The show was more concerned about relationships.
Right.
I don't know, scenes of expositional dumps and dramas.
It's just kind of weird because it's like I know Marvel. They won't say it, but I know how Marvel wants to or wanted to originally market this show. Like, yo, since a new superhero. It's a new Iron Man. The Iron Man mantle take over the new black superhero. And I don't want to hear it. That's how they wanted it because this man Xavier, coming in saying hello black people twice. By the way,
Right, they're trying to make it his catchphrase, like
yeah, we're like, oh, this is his thing.
right, like Martin had "What's up?" or like Norm from Cheers had, "Hey everybody, Norm." Like they're trying to make Xavier's catchphrase like "What's up, black people?" when he walks in a room.
Like just to remind us, that this is,
It's
blind
a black
harder,
show.
the black,
Okay,
yeah, the black Iron Man. Like we need to.
right. They're playing hip hop. It's they're playing like soul music, neo soul, whatever. They're like very grounded in the fact that this is
This is black.
this is the vibe. Okay, like so you
But
addressing that is on brand. I don't see that as any kind of weird thing.
also, small segue. Shout out to a real black superhero that did more superheroics in like less than 30 seconds yesterday when Marvel Rivals dropped the trailer for season 3, which included Jean Grey and Blade. And Blade takes the time out of his day to save Jean Grey from getting stabbed by Hela. Yo, that's more superheroics than the entire 6 episodes of Ironheart. Not even gonna lie. And it's Blade. They even tried to play like a song that was reminiscent of his techno, and everyone like went wild. Blade's back, yo.
Right.
Well, in game form.
Let me see. Kevin Davis says Dominic Thorne's Ironheart was better than Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Agatha, or Long She-Hulk, Echo.
so
I guess
I didn't see Echo.
I didn't see Echo.
It is
Sean
better.
saw She-Hulk.
It is better than She-Hulk. She-Hulk was wild annoying, and She-Hulk
Moon
was
Knight was irritating me in the first few episodes, so I kind of dipped from Moon Knight because they did that scene stuff. They did that same scene in almost every episode where he wakes up, he becomes. They have this split personality thing.
Yeah.
Where he wakes up and then he's like, he's himself, the nerd version of Moon Knight. I forgot the dude's name, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And then like then his alter ego, the Moon Knight character, takes over.
Right.
Jump cut, like all the villains are on the floor dead when he wakes up.
Right.
And it's like, can I just see the fight scene when he beat those guys up? Like, can I get some entertainment value out of that?
They gotta pad out the choreography, bro. Leave it for later scenes.
Right. They don't have the money to have the choreography. And I bet you the show probably costs like $1 bajillion. So if they really wanted to, how come these Korean shows on Netflix got more action? And I bet you the show costs like $45 and a coupon to Nintendo World or something like that. And they got fist fights. They got the camera rotating around them. There's no shaky cam. There's no quick cuts. They got dudes boxing.
Right.
For all the shows, by the way, like from bad to good to mid, they at least have decent fight choreography and stunts.
Right.
Like, what was that show on Netflix? They had like boxing. Like, they had these two Korean guys and they were boxers.
Oh,
Former boxers.
I saw like one episode of that. I know what you're talking about though.
These dudes had like choreography where they were like throwing like punches in like real at full speed and dodging each other as part of the stunt, and it was the actors doing it. It's not like a stunt person doing it. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
but in like a show that cost $250 million, the only action scene that went off, you know what I'm saying, was she was fighting she was trying not to get killed in a White Castle. Like,
yeah, basically went off. That was the went off scene. Yeah, spoiler alert, yo. This joint got no action. All right.
Yeah, it had no action, bro. Like, the show had no action. I don't know what $250 million was doing with no action. Anyway, so
Bloodhounds. Yeah, that was the show.
yeah, hold up. What else they say? Cody Rhodes' daughter was denied her shine. Who you talking about? Who would want? L Monster says, what would want if they did a next season? Riri meeting Hulk, or what would they do if they had a next season?
Mm-hmm.
Riri meeting Hulk about trying not to be the next Iron Man and being more I'm gonna do my own thing type thing. That's kind of how it is right now. Like, she's trying to do her own thing, and
yeah, her own thing is crime.
Not, she's not trying to go through the capital investment route to get the funding for her Iron Man armor. She decided to build a criminal around. She's doing her own thing. Mary Cinematics here says, "What's up? Hey, what's up?"
Hey, what up, man?
Power says, "Blade wins again over MCU Blade."
Hey, listen. Anytime Blade is portrayed in decent light, he wins. All right. Like anytime
Yeah,
Blade happens, Blade is a character. Blade is a character. I know very right now everything's like racially motivated, you know, especially on Twitter. Like you got like all sides of the spectrum just going off on each other, saying like the
right.
craziest like racist things of all time. You see somebody like Blade, everyone shuts up. Like, because that came from an era where we didn't care about those things, and he still embodies that somehow through all media. And that's why they couldn't make this Blade movie, because they're trying to figure out how to make him annoying. And you can't make Blade annoying. He is like impervious to annoyance. I'm glad they didn't make that movie, and I hope they continue to not make the movie. Anyway,
Like
sorry.
they could make a sick Blade movie, like a crazy Blade movie, if they let Gareth Evans from the Raid and that Havoc movie on Netflix do the movie and let him write and direct it any way he wants, and
Yes.
don't have to connect it to the rest of this MCU stuff. You know, he doesn't have to have Riri Williams in it because they both black superheroes or any,
Yeah, I don't want to see nobody next to
nonsense
Blade,
that
man.
Marvel likes to do. They could just have Blade fighting vampires, call it a day. Jon Snow just says her Moon Knight is like Kenobi. You can find all the clips on YouTube. It's good. Yeah, I just piece together all the worthwhile clips and say I saw it. Thing is, the show seemed just like the Hawkeye show. It seemed like they got like a big celeb, movie celeb to be in the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't want to do as much as they do in the movies because maybe they feel like it's going to take away their shine, or they don't want to get typecast, or whatever. So they have another person be their co-star, fight scene partner. They'll do the lifting, they'll be in scenes. So in Hawkeye they had what's her name, Stanfield,
Uh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Haley Stanfield. She's the one that was like doing the action, being like her sarcastic sidekick or something. And then you have, so Renner's like kind of like he's in it, he's out, he's kind of the butt of the joke, he's kind of like getting washed up by Yelena and people, like so it's kind of like it's not about him, it's mostly about like other people and him.
Yeah.
And Moon Knight was like that lady was like doing most of the stuff, and Moon Knight was like he wasn't even himself. He's like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap, and then wake up, all the villains are beat up, and I was like, can I just watch a superhero show, bro? Like, can I just watch a superhero show with a dude who's on the title of the thing is doing stuff? Like,
They can't do
is that
it.
too CW enough? Like, is that like,
This is why they can't
like,
do Blade. Imagine them doing the Blade movie, Blade not doing his own action.
yeah, it's like Galaxy Brain Disney stuff where they're like, oh, the movie's called Blade. So how do I make it not about Blade? Because if I make it about Blade, that's too obvious. So I got to make it about Blade's daughter, Captain Britain, allegedly, like, and not the Captain Britain guy from Excalibur, like the new Captain Britain who's like, who used to be Psylocke or something. I don't know what they're doing in the comics. And like they're trying to have some other characters in it, like Mia Goth, I guess, was going to play Queen of the Vampires or something. I don't know, or not. I don't know.
Man.
But it's like, we could just make this about Blade, like fighting people and being the main character and being badass. But no. El Monster said Bloodhounds. That was the name of the show we were talking about, the
Yep.
Korean show.
Oh, Neil J's here. What's up, man?
What did I miss? Well, correct a term would be, what did you spoil? Well,
We just started getting into episode
yeah.
4 of 6, so we're like in the middle of episode 4, where basically her mother is finding out about like her trying to dabble into figuring out what like why the Hood's cape is magic. That's where we're at.
Alpha Proto says, but Bishop is named Hawkeye too. So it's about Hawkeye.
I don't know who Kate Bishop is. Anyway,
Jews in the comics, Sean. So if it's in the comics, it's got to be in the show. You're not a real fan unless you accept everything that's in the
I ain't a real
comics.
fan, so I don't know. I don't know who that
And I
is.
mean, it's fine if she's in it, but it's kind of interesting that Hawkeye, what's his name, Jeremy Renner,
Mm-hmm.
was kind of complaining. I remember, like in the Avengers one, the
Mm-hmm.
first one, he was kind of complaining because he wasn't he got in trouble for this. He said like, "Oh, I studied my character. I read the comics.
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I had a good beat on this character, and then when they give me the script, I'm brainwashed. So I wasn't
Mm,
even really playing myself, really, the person I studied, and that part was kind of annoying. And
interesting.
then, like, I don't know, the PR team and the Disney people checked him for that, and then he issued some apology saying like, "Oh, I didn't mean that I hated the movie. I'm just saying that's what happened, and hopefully next time I get to be Clint Barton the way I believe him to be." But I love Marvel, I love Disney, I love Feige. He's just like, because that's what happened to Idris. He talked crap
Hmm.
about his role in Thor, and then they got mad at him for that. So he's not. I'm not trying to. Don't kick me out, bro. Like, don't tase me, bro.
And now,
So I would think that he would. And then he was like, kind of. He was in the other ones,
yeah,
and he kind of had an arc where he went crazy and all this stuff. But I thought that he would want to, kind of. Not to say he can't have side characters, but it's kind of like we kind of want to see Jeremy Renner for 6 episodes. We kind of want to
yeah.
see
I
him
mean,
do
that's
his
what I tuned
thing,
in to
and
see. Instead,
you
I.
know. And plus, it's like I don't know. I feel like I like Haley Stenfield as an actress. I think she's a good actress. Like in
Hmm.
the Bumblebee movie, I liked her. Whatever in the other indie movie she did, like the Edge of 17 and all this stuff. And
Hmm.
I think she's a good actress. And Sinner, she was good in that, even though this is like her big break. I thought she was good always. Whatever. She's a
Hmm.
good actress, right? Just potential,
Right.
star power, right? But it's like they do this fan character, like a person who's the fan of the main character. Whoa, you're Hawkeye. They did it on Picard. Like they had the character, like Alison Pill is like really, whoa, you're like Captain Picard. Whoa. And they like start following around. And then later on, they start like either betray the main character or get sarcastic with them.
Yeah.
So then I just see the same tropey character like in every show right now. And I think they gotta like chill, like put a pause on it. Like we don't need the character that's like the super fan of the main character.
Yeah, because it's annoying.
Right. It's like I'm kind of over it, but maybe for people who are not over it, they can enjoy it. But I think I'm kind of over it and stuff.
Well, technically, we're not even going to see Hawkeye ever again
Well, yeah, I mean,
because he apparently, y'all probably heard about that, right? Like he wanted to like come back to a show, and I don't know, there was some like money thing where there was like he was basically gonna get a lot less money, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm good,"
I
and then that's it. Hawkeye's over.
think a lot of these people are over it. Like Chris what's his name? Chris Evans.
Hmm.
Like Tony Stark himself, Robert Downey Jr. came back, but only when it was revealed he got like the biggest paycheck in movie history or something. So it's mostly about the bag for these people at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
ScarJo, same thing. Like, that's why at this point they should really stop trying to like they're wasting a lot of money holding out for these guys to return and all this.
hmm,
They should just like reboot and just have whatever the guy from Reacher be Captain America because he'll be any superhero. He wants to be any superhero. At this point, he probably has as much name brand recognition being on that TV show as some other fading actor or something.
true,
Anyway,
true. Let's read the rest of these
okay,
before we go for the rest of the
all right,
episode.
go
Let's
for
speed
it.
through this. Let's see. Team Blade, of course. Neil just said, "I'd rather be fired at that point than bullied into silence." Nah, facts.
Yeah, but then again, they got that big paycheck, that Disney paycheck. They're spending $250 million on an Ironheart show, so they got a lot of money to like take care of your life forever. And then after when it's over, you can go do any indie project.
Yeah.
That's what happened with this guy Robert Downey Jr. They asked him like, "Oh, you're doing big things with this Iron Man stuff. Do you ever want to go back and do smaller movies and indie movies?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm good.
Mm. Hey.
I'm good on that stuff." And then they're like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was in some movie, and I remember like one time they were losing money, and then they came up to me and said, 'Do I want to invest in the movie?'" And I was
Oh.
like, "Bro, I ain't gonna invest in no movie, bro. Like, I'm done with this stuff. I'm kind of just good with like working with people. And they know what they're doing, and they give me big check. I don't know. He didn't say big check, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
Right, right, right.
he's used to his phase in his career where he wants to, you know,
I mean, listen,
have
his bank
everything taken
account was
care of.
cooking. Okay, I looked it up. I looked it up yesterday. How much she's made like during like the entire run of like MCU? Yeah, bank,
Right.
bank.
Yeah. And a lot of people like that now in Hollywood. They're scared to like, yo, I ain't trying to be, asked out, doing straight to video movies.
Right,
Like Saban Entertainment, like they're gonna be on some like the third string behind like I don't know some action movie. I mean, for those stars, that's cool. Like like Scott Adkins and Mario, Zakar and stuff. But they don't want to be like the villain in one of those joints.
right,
They want to be in like they want to have like the rent paid for the big mansion that their manager hustled them into getting, so he can be perpetually working to the day he's dead. They're trying to like live the good life.
right. Hold on, let
Anyway.
me. So yeah, I remember the Jeremy Renner apology tour. Yep. So we cannot use that excuse anymore. The Looney Tune people wrote this stuff into the comics in insert universe here and is now canon.
That's what they're most excited for, to get to those characters. There's so many storylines of Captain America that never did. There's so many storylines of Spider-Man, everything like that, and um, everything. Thor, Iron Man, like Black Widow. Like they had like so many storylines that from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s that they could get to. But I think they just really want to get to Ironheart. They want to get to like
Well, we got to
Sam
it.
Wilson, Captain America. What happened?
Well, we got to it. It's the greatest show on earth or something.
Exactly.
Um, I said Haley's the replacement Hawkeye. Jeremy said he isn't coming back because they didn't offer him enough money. Yep. It said
Right.
always been about the bag. El
True.
Monster says Walker, best Captain America. Yo, John Walker is not appreciated. You know what I'm saying? He had a crazy arc. And see, that's an example of a character that made a questionable decision that had a full arc. John Walker's John Walker's journey, at least in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, is more heroic than the entirety of Riri Williams.
Right.
I'll say that unironically. I mean, this is a fact. Like, especially like when we're about to explain the end of this show. By the way, um, Simon says, "Just give me an animated X-Men movie with Jim Lee Joe Mad style, and I could die happy." That would be actually pretty dope. They're not going to do it, but that would be dope. And then Alpha Roller says, "Yep, the 10-year all new, all different plan. They plant the seeds for these movies in the comics a decade ago. Now all the crops are growing in. Yeah, do we want to see the crops is the question. All right, so back to this lovely piece of entertainment. What happened? Oh yeah, so Riri mother finds out about stuff, and they argue. She flies off, has a panic attack, and then Natalie, who the AI, decides to fly to Xavier. Now Xavier is not supposed to know about Natalie because Natalie is Xavier's sister, and anyway, she flies to him silently. Just the suit because Natalie controls the suit, puts Xavier in it, flies it to Riri to help with the panic attack. And then Natalie takes it upon herself to materialize, and Xavier is not having it because he's seeing his deceased sister again, and he's like, just delete her. So Riri's going back and forth with them. Natalie gets mad, flies off. Xavier walks off, and so Riri's at one of her lowest points ever. She doesn't know what to do. She, and she meets up with the magic girl from the shop. What was her name? Zelma. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Zelma.
I
Not Velma, Zelma. Uh, and then she's basically trying to figure out. I forgot what they were meeting for. Was she trying to figure out more about the magic? I believe more about the hood, but it doesn't matter at this point because back at Parker, Mr. Hood tells the entire team, "Hey, Riri's the one that offed cousin John, so we gotta go get her and her life." So they corner her at a White Castle product placement, White Castle.
Maybe that's where the 250 million part of that money came from. Like they go to White Castle.
Oh, maybe.
part of the budget. By the way, Neo J in the chat says, "Are you talking about Professor Xavier?" No, we're talking about
No, it's
some dude that Riri Williams is crushing on.
Yeah,
Very very subtly,
maybe I
but
should.
not too subtly. I think they're gonna get together or something.
I
I don't
suppose.
know.
So hold on. For the chat, let's post up the cast. All right.
We need a picture of the cast right
Yeah.
now. So many characters.
Yeah. Here's one.
Here's one. We'll
Yeah.
get to him in a minute.
High five. All right. Borat's in here. You know, as Borat. No, I'm kidding.
No, I wish.
That would have been funnier. To be honest, hold on. Ironheart.
While you look at that, I'll look at the chat. Alpha Porta says, yeah, the 10-year, all new, all different plan. They plant the seeds for these movies in the comics a decade ago, and now the crops are growing in.
Yeah, I read that one. Yeah.
Secret Invasion should have been the Black Widow based, lots of hallway fights, and yup, the raid type director. Yeah, they definitely need that, or the raid choreographer. And I don't know, I feel like they got to start training martial artists to act rather than having actors be martial artists, and they could save some money and some time and actually have the fight scenes be crazy. They at least got to get at least three guys. They got to train from scratch,
Right,
to be like doing stuff so we can get more value on screen for less money, just whatever. Anyway.
Mm.
Yeah, so which one is
This is Xavier Raher, this man.
right? That's Riri Williams.
Yeah, Boo thing. So
Boo.
who asked? No, he's not white. He's this dude right here. However, Natalie was crushing on Thor.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, in a very
By the way, and that guy right there, Eldenreich, is plays Joe.
Right.
Right, who's like the son of Obadiah Stane, Jeff Bridges from the first movie.
Right.
And he was Solo in the Han Solo movie, bro. And I guess now he's in this, so it kind of like this is where he's at right now, being in the Riri Williams show.
Yeah.
So it's where it's at. You got a dude named Manny Montana. I don't know, is that like French Montana's brother? That
was John.
Oh, yes,
cousin John. You know what I'm saying?
What's like French Montana? No.
There's the villain over in the corner.
Right. That's Anthony Ramos, aka Parker, the Hood.
The Hood. There's that person who appears exactly like that, by the way. Oh yeah, this guy was in here for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like this
man. Eric Andre. What's Parker's name? He had like a regular. What's his name? His last name. It was like Parker Barnes, and one of these names like Parker Stewart.
Hold on. What's the actual? Hold on. Let's go into IMDb.
I only say that because it's like, why can't he be Parker Nunez? What's up with this, huh? Why they gotta?
I mean, is that the character in the actual comic?
I don't know, bro. They're changing it up.
Parker Robbins right now.
Yeah, Parker Robbins, bro.
Hold on, let's look up Parker Robbins.
Fair enough, but if we're gonna have Hispanic representation, what's wrong with? You know what I'm saying? Like
Parker Robbins, Earth 616. Whose man's is this? Hold on.
Whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. Parker Robbins in the comic looking kind of I can't tell.
Different.
Yeah, he just look like. First of all, he look like a grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is the Disney version. Whatever. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
What in the world? Oh, he got a whole storyline with prostitutes and everything.
Oh, really? Yeah. Pimp Daddy?
Yeah, okay. Now I gotta go read about Parker Robbins right now, but not now. Maybe like next.
Well, they say pimp is not easy. That's why I guess he turned to stealing crime to make robots and stuff.
Alfredo said it's a race swap. See, I was going to suspect that, but that was kind of weird because my man's he appears to be a white man here. I'm confused. Look, whatever. This is Marvel. This is current day Marvel. That's what they do. Where was I up to? Panic Attack. Oh yeah, they had the
Yeah.
argument.
Okay. So the AI, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
she flew away. I passed that part.
oh, okay.
And then like like, now Riri's in there with Zelma having a conversation, and here comes the criminal crew to try and attack Riri.
Right. Like, I guess Parker put a hit on Riri,
Yeah,
and I guess sent the criminal crew to, I don't know, to 86 Riri.
yeah, the 86 her. All while this is going on, Parker is actually trying to recruit Joe, who, as I previously stated, is now in custody because of the linking to the crimes. And
Right.
Parker sneaks in there with his cape, his mystical cape, and he's out. Well, I guess that part will come. And anyway, somehow Riri uh overpowers the criminal crew and
Yeah,
everybody.
this is where you get a little fight choreography. A little bit. Like they're trying to flex a little bit. It's not really much, really, but it's like,
I ain't remember
you
the
know,
moves. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah, where I don't know. They're just trying. She doesn't have any fight moves. She's just like kind of running away from them and throwing, like, I don't know, French fries at them or something like that, or like plates of, and like, I don't know, dinner trays and crap, trying to distract him mostly. But they're trying to have like a little stunt moment
Right.
of her jumping off of kitchen counters and hiding behind, like, whatever, the fryer later and things like that. And she managed to, like, down, I guess, a couple of them in some creative way,
Three of them.
and a few, yeah, three of them. Uh, and then she traps one with, like, the magic, her scientific bubble
Watch.
thing that she had her that she trapped her mom in when she thought she was being attacked.
She trapped two of them actually. The
Right.
the
So,
Snowflake and Safe Space
and the one they call
stand-ins.
Clown, like the girl, like,
Oh yes, the one with the nose ring. And during this, she says to Clown, like, stop trying to fight me. Um, I have it on good information that Parker, offed your last tech guy. The last tech guy was Eric Andre's character, who we haven't seen since episode 1. He was murdered and nobody knew how, and Ryu figured out it was him. And yeah, all the while, the other character known as Slug had Riri's suit kidnapped or like taken. I forgot how they managed to do that.
I don't remember.
With a truck or something. Look, whatever. It wasn't important. They have her suit now, so Riri can't get backup help.
No.
But anyway, Riri overpowers the siblings and then overpowers Clown, and somehow manages to call the suit, and the suit just kind of like gets out of Slug's truck, and she suits up. But now she has to deal with a new problem, which is Joe. Joe was broken out of custody, broken out of prison because Parker let him out. And Parker decided to run tests on Joe and implanted him with actual like cybernetics to make him as strong as Riri in the suit, which is interesting. And I only say it's interesting now. I remember having this little small dialogue of like, yo, we're in a universe full of like superpowers and gods and I don't know, flying fish people and aliens and ghosts and whatever.
It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. However, I will say in the context of this, Joe having like these implants, and I'm pretty sure there's a character in Marvel with implants too. It's just kind of funny because like now with Stark Tech and all that, I'm like, isn't this kind of like a slight upgrade? Because now you don't need a suit; it's just like embedded in you. But whatever, you gotta let that one go. Uh, so
Okay.
Joe is now fighting Riri, and Slug ran away because he didn't want to deal with all that, and Joe was about to kill Riri. He stops because he don't want to be that guy, and he basically tells Riri like, "Yo, you gotta run, cause if Parker knows you're still alive, it's over for you." So this buys Riri some time. Now Clown sees this, sees Riri escape. When they get back to the base of operation, you know, Joe was telling Parker like, "Hey, so did you get her?" He's like, "Yeah," and Joe's being really vague about it. Like, did you kill her? Like, yeah, I killed her. And then he asked Clown like, "Did you see this happen?" And Clown lies and say, "Yeah, he killed Riri." Now the reason that Clown does this is because what Riri said stuck in her head, and she's like, "Yo, did Parker really kill our last
Eric
tech?"
Andre.
Yeah, our last tech. So now she goes to Slug so that they could run an autopsy, and that's all going on. So we're winding down to the last moments of this.
They're going into the autopsy report.
Yes, yes.
They're not doing the autopsy themselves, right?
No, right. They're right. They're going into the autopsy report and to find out what happened because the cause of death is conflicting. I think they said what it was. Was it an overdose? And they said, well, we know that that character does not do drugs. So what's up with that? So yeah, they're trying to figure that out. All the while, we're now getting more glimpses into this is going to be muddled here, but it doesn't matter because we're coming to the end. We're getting glimpses into how Parker slash the Hood came in possession of the Hood, and we see him trying to one of his a heist that they keep flashbacking to where he was with John, and as he's running in this heist, this flashback, he meets this man out of nowhere, and the man says, "Oh, you want to escape with me? Come into this door." And it's like a door that goes into a cafe or something magically. And then he goes in, and the guys who were chasing him like, "Where does he go?" And then the man starts talking to him, and this man is known as Borat. He's not Borat, but
Sacha Baron Cohen.
right. And he's talking to him about like, what do you want out of life, and asking him all these uh you know these what's the adjective I'm looking for?
Probing questions. I don't know
Yeah,
what call this.
probing questions.
Leading questions. I don't know.
Right. And they're in a noisy diner, and he's like, "Yo, like, who are you?" And then he's like, "I can't hear you." And then dude just like I forgot what he does. He does something to silence like the rest of the room. And then like, Parker's like, "Did you do that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So now he gets the point that like, yo, this dude is supernatural or something. And he asks him what he wants, and he wants the power, he wants the respect, which mirrors sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
It mirrors what Ironheart wanted throughout the show. And so this is the part in the introduction of this character. This is the part where I finally realize, oh, I'm not supposed to like Ironheart's decisions.
Right.
Because this dude she is parallel with Parker. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I didn't know how to feel at the time, but at least it made some of the writing better.
Yeah, retroactively
Right.
Less bad.
Right. Because I'm like, okay, so I'm stuck in a world where these characters are being selfish. They are marking them as selfish, marking them as narcissistic and all of that other stuff, right? So I'm not supposed to like her actions. I'm not supposed to like his actions either. Because this man is talking to them about what is talking to Parker at this time about what do you want out of life, and he's listing it, and the man is telling him, "I'm going to get it for you," and he wants to be filthy rich, he wants this, that, and the third, and I'm like, okay, so this man, which is sounding exactly like every other person that ever played Satan in every movie ever.
Yeah, it's either Satan or like the Wishmaster, the evil genie movie starring Andrew Divoff back in the days. Like,
right.
Where you tell him the wish and it comes true, and then it happens in a bad way later. But you know what I'm saying, like, or soon, I don't know. But yeah, he sounds like every evil supernatural character, aka the devil,
Yes.
making a deal with the devil for your soul, whatever.
Right. Um. And Parker decides to agree. He asks him what will it cost, and the guy says, it'll cost something you won't miss. I ain't gonna lie. Marvel, the MCU is a world that's filled with mysticism, magic, aliens, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's also filled with other media. I think somebody reminded me, or not reminded me, I saw it in a post that that DC comics actually exist in the MCU as fiction, which is funny, right? Like Batman to them is a comic. That being said, so they understand they have media. They understand the concept of like, like when something that's too good to be true comes to you, it's probably actually too good to be true.
Right.
I just what if I was living in that world and some guy who can silence a room with his like finger tells me, oh, it's gonna cost you something you won't miss. I don't know, son. I think I'd walk away. I'd be like, nah,
Yeah,
I seen this movie before, bro. I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess, but then again, I don't know. People selling their soul for record deals, like in
that is true.
in real life, they sign up with I don't know, you know,
To,
soullessrecords.com or something. They'll get up on stage and put on all kind of weird outfits and sing about like the destruction of their own people for profit, like
Now it's funny
you
that you
know
mentioned that because at this part, right, I was like, wait, is this like some is 4D chess joint? I don't think so.
in what way?
But like where they're trying to like tell like the whole thing is presented in kind of like, a hip hop adjacent way.
Right.
So I'm like, is this some like commentary on how like, like the industries and well, they weren't really celebrities or anything, like how you would sell your soul for like to quote unquote the devil and things of that nature. Like I was like, wait,
Right. Maybe this is trying to be like trying to relate to hip hop internet culture or something.
right,
Like they talk about hip
it,
hop conspiracies where they sold their soul to the devil and like like those old remember those old conspiracies where there's some dude called Rain Man. He was like some kind of like
wait, who?
I don't know.
Wait,
Trying to
this
say there was like some kind of internet dude, and they were talking about some dude who's making it rain, and then they're like, "Who is the Rain Man?" Something.
I have never heard
Like,
of. Okay, I
I
just learned
don't
something
know,
new.
bro.
I just learned something new.
I remember the Forerunner Chronicles, and that dude tried to say that he got sold his soul to the devil. Like this is like we're talking like 2010, like internet. I don't know, hip hop, black conspiracy, YouTube. None of these videos exist anymore.
Right.
And the kid from Two and a Half Men hooked up with that dude for the Forerunner Chronicles.
Damn, that's deep. I gotta look this stuff up.
So this is a long-standing tradition
Right.
in hip hop culture that selling your soul to the devil will get you fame and fortune. Like you know what I'm saying?
Now,
So they have a whole generation of people who believe this stuff, and and look, they got kids and they got grown adults sending their kids to Diddy's Flavor Camp. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hoping to get some of that flavor. They do it for like I don't know what they do, a Birkin bag or like a receipt to
that
like
is
I don't
true.
know.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So I don't know that Sasha Baron Cohen's deal to this dude to give him a magic cloak with his own autonomy and how to get his funds is pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Compared to what regular people do for nothing.
that's true. Now I will say personally, like I can't follow every conspiracy on the net because some of it sounds ridiculous. But I mean, there are enough things going on, especially like with a list that we still don't have. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously there's stuff going on in higher echelon stuff that remains to be hidden, just not explored. I'm not sure about Raymond. That one, that one, that sounds hilarious. I'm gonna actually have to look it.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up for you.
All right, that sounds hilarious. I didn't hear about that one.
That's retarded.
But yeah, at that point, at this point of the show, I was like, "Oh, are they trying to be deep? Like, are they trying to?" Which wouldn't make the show any better, but at least it would make it very interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, I
Yeah, it's sort
guess.
of tying it together because Riri Williams is kind of doing unlikable things, but now in these newer episodes, her mom is telling her that, her friends are telling her that.
Mhm.
She's starting to believe it, like, oh yeah, I am a jerk. I am arrogant. I am this bad person,
Right.
and I gotta change. For the sake of my family and my friends. And then like the devil show up, Sacha Baron Cohen. So it's like, okay, now we're getting into like it's starting to have a point.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense. So, like, that was when I had definitively knew, oh, I was never supposed to like Riri. Which is bold, by the way, because I'm like, I don't know how they. I gotta remember how they marketed the show, but I would have thought that Marvel wanted to be like, yo, this is the new Black Iron Man, Black woman Iron Man, hear me roar. Instead, it's just like, no, we're going to do a commentary on bad decisions. Like, word? You sure? Like, you sure you want to do this? It's a
Right.
good idea. I mean, hey, whatever.
Whatever, man.
They still have script problems, like regardless, like of like things that characters shouldn't be doing if they want to commit crime. But I already went over that. What happened after that? Then we just kind of getting into the last battle after that, right? Where like after clown gets the autopsy report, and while that's going on, Riri gets get like her mother gets in contact with her mother, and they actually go back to the garage where Natalie and and her stepfather were lives were ended, and they're basically convincing her like, yo, let's make a new suit from scratch. Like, you could do it, you could do it. Which actually I guess it gets into the point of like, yeah, my man built it in the cave, girl. Like, now she built it in the garage with like, I don't know, 8 other people. Um, Genius, by the way. And she only agrees to do this after Natalie shows her a hologram about an old memory of hers. Because remember, Natalie is based off her Riri scanned brain. Old memory of her with her stepfather as a kid, and like how to. By the way, I just have to say, this flashback where she's a kid and that's with her stepfather, and yo, I didn't like her as a kid either. She was an annoying kid. I'm like, oh, so you were always insufferable? I be like, what? Whatever. So she decides to start building this new suit along with magic. So now Riri's tapping into this magic from the cloak. Uh-oh. And I'm like, well, it's really
Oops.
doing a doozy on Parker. Do you think you should be doing this? And it seems to me, by the way, because this is like, for one step forward that the show tries to take, it takes another step back. Because I'm like, okay, you're trying to figure out how to beat Parker. You're frantic about how to beat Parker. Understandable. So you then take the one thing that's driving him crazy to fuel your suit. And I guess she thought that it wasn't going to have any kind of repercussions, but I don't know. It didn't seem like a. I guess they're trying to market as this was the only thing this was her only option. Meanwhile, Parker's going insane. They drop the autopsy back at his camp. Clown drops the autopsy report and says, "Oh, were you the one to kill him?" And it basically says like, "Yo, I run this. Why are you going against me?" And um, I think he lunges at Clown, and then like Slug kind of intercepts, and he starts like trying to like I forget, he was beating him or choking him, so I can't remember. And then basically like Parker looks at them and says, "Yo, all you get out, you all fired," or something, which is like, I don't know. It's kind of like a funny scene because I'm like, yo, this man who's getting possessed by demonic energy, who uh killed a former coworker, and the only thing he does to these guys is like, "Nah, you fired. That's it." I'm just like, I don't know. It's kind of anticlimactic because I thought he'd be like, at this point of the show, I thought he would have been more taken over by evil than that. He's just like, you're fired. I'm just all right, whatever. like, like imagine your boss is like demon possessed and all he does is give you a write up. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, uh, so they leave. I guess that was the end of them. To be
Yeah, it was
honest,
kind of funny. It was just like, oh, you found out that I was the one that 86 Eric Andre. All right, you're all fired. And I was like, fired? I thought he was gonna like wipe them all out with his crazy magic powers. He was just like, nah, I'm just fired.
which is another inconsistency. So I'm like, we once again have another crime unaddressed. You letting 4 people walk out, or was it 3?
They know your
3.
name. They know your whole operation. You will they could testify against you. Like it's and this guy, he was the one that was he took the Glock out and blasted the security guard because he was a witness or something. Or like actually he didn't do that. He let him live or something. So I guess he doesn't care if you see his face. Now that I think about it, which is the weird for a criminal to be doing, but
I don't understand.
whatever.
Maybe he thinks like, oh, if even if they tell him, they'll never believe me. I'm like, yes, they will, because this is a world full of weird things. They will believe their testimony.
But I also think it's kind of that Marvel thing. They don't want him to get too evil because they want to have this thing where they could turn him into like a semi good guy later. Like the Marvel villains are never truly that bad, but if he went out and like rubbed out on his whole
Boy.
crew, like wiped them all out,
Right.
he would be like irredeemable for him to be. Even though that's what villains do, and they do it all the time, and they end up being in sequels forever. And I don't know, Marvel just can't like be as bad as they want to be, but
Hold on.
they certainly edge up to the point of being bad all the time. Anyway, continue.
Hold on. I'm just reading spoilers here to see if he does become a good guy in what is this? It's called the heroic age. I don't know if that means anything. Anyway, I'll look that up later. So weird. Oh, he looked way cool in the comic though. My man had like spikes and everything. Now,
We
now,
can't see it here.
yeah. Hold on. Let me. I'll look it up in a bit. Um. So yeah, she finished building the suit. She tries to fire it up, but as she's firing it up with the magic, as Riri's firing up the suit, everyone's waiting to see like, hey, let's test out your new suit, and it deletes Natalie, who was terrified of being deleted, by the way. So she's like, please help me, and then like boom, she gets deleted, and this leaves Riri distraught because she feels like she lost her best friend again. And understandable. Oh yeah, also Joe, who lied about ending Riri's life. Parker has control of him. He's trying to like leave town, and Parker comes to him and is like, "Nah, I got control over you. Come here." I don't know exactly how he's controlling him, but I guess he's controlling him through magic or something.
Yeah, controlling him through like yeah, I guess no, just controlling him through the chip that he put in him.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. They melded like magic and science too hard in here, like
Right.
so it's confusing. Whatever. So now he has to do like he still has like control over what he says, but he has to do what he's basically like a robotic slave at this point. Um, so yeah, basically, it all comes to a head in the last episode where Riri, being distraught about losing Natalie as her AI best friend, flies to the pizza shop because this man decided not to. Well, he had no reason to think that Riri would come through because he thought Riri was gone because Joe lied. But then, he gets to the pizza shop and Joe meets Riri and he's basically like, "Yo, I can't stop myself. You're just gonna have to beat me." They come up with a plan to stop him, which includes emasculating him and kicking him in the groin as the plan, and then deactivating his chip. And then Riri meets the Hood, who is now, after talking with quote unquote the devil, he's complaining to him saying like, I need more power, I still feel empty. And I guess it's a metaphor for morality, sin, like you'll never be full because you'll want more and more. Decent message. um Devil grants him more power, I guess, through the hood, and now he's like all souped up, and Riri's all souped up, and now they're in front of each other. And this, he's there with his two guns, and Riri's there with her new suit. Well, I hate her helmet, by the way. The joint is trash. Um, the silhouette of the suit was a lot better because it fit like a female form, but the mask was trash. Anyway, that's just my own artistic analysis. So yeah, they're standing in front of each other, and they're just like, all right, time for the big battle. Let me tell y'all something. That battle lasted like a minute 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're waiting for some action in this show, and it was the shortest fight in Marvel MCU history. It was shorter than the White Castle fight.
You're right. And I'm like,
and this is a point where like it was going to be like superpowers versus like Iron Man suit, kind of thing. Like it was like a super powered battle, and nothing happened. It was just like over in like 5 seconds. Like Joe like beat the crap out of Riri Williams.
Joe is trash. I was like,
washed up.
I was like, what is this? I think she was fighting Joe longer than she was fighting Parker.
But didn't that happen before she had the outfit? That's how her outfit got ruined.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, you're talking about she fought him again.
Yes, remember in the piece.
Oh, in the freezer. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Like they fought again.
And that fight was still longer than that second fight is longer than the fight she had with Parker.
Right. It was pretty bad.
I don't know.
But anyway, she fought Joe, right? And then she like reset Joe, like she saved him in a way from being controlled by Parker, right? Is that where you're at in the story?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm past that. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I forgot to mention that Joe gets reset, and then he says some cryptic thing like, "Yeah, we'll settle up later" or something. Like he still has beef with Riri, which you know what? I mean,
can you blame him?
Understandably, she dissed this man, threatened this man, extorted this man, took his stuff beyond his will to make her first suit. Had to reset him by kicking him in the nuts. Like, if I was Joe, I'd be mad too.
Ruined his life, got him arrested, like ruined his whole life, bro. Like,
a man is like, you know what I'm saying? He was crying in the car in the first part of the earlier episodes of the show.
She's making fun of him.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, Team Joe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we're redemption for Joe. Like, whatever.
Like, can we where's the Joe show?
He's trying to mind his business. I mean, he was a criminal too, I guess, but at least he was like not irritating. He was trying to be like a nice guy, nice neighbor or some crap, and the neighbor didn't respect him either. He was basically the butt of like the joke and of everything. But anyway, like you passed that part, then I forgot.
Yeah, now it's time. It's time for him, for Riri and Parker to showdown.
Right.
And it's
showdown. Finally,
like we're here. We haven't seen this woman do any heroic. First of all, she's done nothing heroic the entire show.
She never saved a real person. She hasn't saved like a kitten, an animal, a person, a kid, and nothing. A dude a rock falls off from a building or something and almost about to crush some guy. She swoops in to save them or blow up the rock. Nothing. None of that stuff happened, bro.
Nothing.
She's in it for the cash, and when she ain't in for the cash, she's here to defend herself or like people like her family or whatever. But even Tony Soprano will defend his family from mobsters and stuff like that. That's not particularly heroic,
right?
Anybody does that.
Yeah, that don't count. So, yeah, Marvel, let me know when y'all gonna make the Joe show. You know what I'm saying? Because anyway, yeah. So Parker and Riri about to showdown, and they have the shortest fight in MCU history, as Dan had said, and yeah, that was it. That was the end of Parker.
He got washed up. Her suit with the magic boost was too much for him to handle, and he got like pimp slapped down and stuff. Well, first she tricked him into being some fake hologram. She thought he won, and then he didn't because she was behind him and like whooped his behind, and then took his coat, his cloak,
right?
And he's crying and crumpled on the floor, like, "Yo, please give me back my coat!" Like Debo, took that dude's like bike or something like that.
He's trying to have a fake deep moment, like you don't know how
much.
Yeah,
word like it hurts,
and then it's like, yeah, I know how much it hurts. which is I'm going to forever bring up this scene from what I believe is the first Spider-Man movie. Anyway, one of the Spider-Man movies where Tony confronts Peter Parker and says, and they have a little spat, and Peter's like, I'm nothing without the suit. And Tony tells him, if you're nothing without the suit, you didn't deserve it in the first place. Which was a lesson for Peter. What we are essentially dealing with in this show is Parker, who cannot live without his cloak, and Riri, who cannot live without her suit because she's so desperate to build it. So when he said, you don't know how much, when she said, you don't know how much this hurts, I believe she was referring, and she says, I know, she's referring to the fact that she can't live without her suit. So this story is essentially missing two very important characters. Tony Stark, to tell these YNs that they're abusing their suit for crime, and Doctor Strange to tell them, why are you messing around with dark magic? Now, of course, Doctor Strange is well and alive, but of course he's not going to be here because this is in Chicago, so he doesn't know about what's going on here. So yeah, Riri goes off and goes into the pizzeria, and lo and behold, Borat is sitting in one of the seats eating pizza. The only person there eating pizza, which is mysterious because the pizzeria has shut down. But of course, this is a supernatural being. She sits down with him after he asks her to take off the suit. And they get to talking, and then he uses the famous line, who are you? She says, who are you? He's like, I go by many names. Yo, listen, another trope. Listen, if a character says, if a man comes up to you and he's supernatural and he says, I go by many names, get up. I know all your names. Satan, Beelzebub, no, it's time to go. But nah.
It's every movie from the Al Pacino movie and Devil's Advocate. It's the same thing. You've heard it a bunch of times. Yeah. If you're hearing it for the first time, you haven't turn on the television set. You haven't talked to another human being.
So this,
much less read your Bible, but you definitely haven't been on Earth.
So she decides to keep talking with this person who has many names, with her genius level intellect. By the way, well, because we're told through this entire story that she's the genius. She's been a genius since she was a kid. And she's a genius now, somehow making the dumbest decisions. To be honest, this story actually would have made more sense if they didn't hammer that she was a genius. Because then I'll be like, oh, she's stupid. Or she's doing silly things because she doesn't think. Anyway, so this genius sits down with this person. And of course, he tells her, you could call me Mephisto. And this is Mephisto introduced into the MCU.
And the way they freeze on his face for a minute, it's supposed to be like, yo, that's crazy. And it's just like, I guess when people nerd out and all this, and it's just like, it wasn't visually represented in a crazy way either. It's not like he morphed into his Mephisto form from the comics or anything. Right. Riri was taken to hell or something. It was just like, oh, I'm Mephisto. And then he just hangs on his face for a dramatic pause. First of all, she accuses him first of being Dormammu, the bad guy from Doctor Strange. And then he laughs, Dormammu, that ugly thing, no way. Right. My name is Mephisto. And it's just like, okay, whatever.
And I guess we were supposed to be hyped.
Yeah, that was the nerd moment, nerd little drop moment, And I'm just like,
son.
Okay, man.
Yo, I was.
Yep, I don't know. I'm just like, whatever. This is the Easter egg. Kevin Feige thinks people are gonna I don't know, spray themselves with that thing when that happened. But whatever. Fine. I don't care. It's fine. He's Mephisto. Anyway, so he offers Riri Williams a deal. Right? He's like, what do you want? And I give you anything you want or something.
Then he reads her mind.
Right.
And her mind's thinking about Natalie. Because she just lost Natalie as an AI. And he basically says, I could give you that. I could give you whatever you want. And then Riri goes, is like, what's it gonna cost? What's the catch? And he's like, oh, tells the same thing he told to Parker, which is basically,
Right.
well, it's something that you won't miss. Now, he never says what it is. Of course, I'm thinking in my head, what, their soul? Uh,
Yeah, I
I,
guess that's what the deal is always, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't know
In these
Mephisto's
movies.
deal from the actual comics, if that's what he does. But whatever. You see him reach out his hand to shake her hand, which seals the deal. You don't see what she does. And then it pans back to her in the garage. She's playing music, I believe. And then around the corner comes Natalie. And she's all hyped because she's like, oh, my AI is back. And she was like, yeah, run program diagnostics, which I believe is supposed to be a shout out to the beginning when she had her run program diagnostics. And Natalie's looking at her all weird. And she says, where's Greg? And then Natalie touches her. And Riri's like, how
No,
did you do
yeah, right.
like how did you do that? So essentially what Mephisto did was bring Natalie back for real. The actual
Right.
Natalie, not the AI. And this I can only assume is going to lead to all kinds of complications. All kinds of repercussions, all kinds of it's going to throw everything off the loop. And I'm not going to lie, if there was any scenes after that, oh, there was an after credit scene
Yes.
where Parker without his, cape, but he still has his markings, uh, goes to the Zelma's shop and says like, "Hey, I was wondering if you can, get me some magic." And she's like, "Who told you it's a magic store?" It's like, "No, I know you got it." It's like, "But I need the good stuff or something." And then like it fades to black, and that is the end of Ironheart, the best MCU project since Winter Soldier. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Hype, bro. Gotta get that endorsement deal. So, I mean, it was certainly a show that happened. It, a lot of it was filler. I don't know. There was no action, bro. Like, where was the
None.
action in this show? Like, it's an actionless superhero show.
Was
Like,
this
she
the
flies around in the suit and like maybe some tech, UI screen pops up on the for a little bit, and she had her AI friend or whatever, and but like there was the only fight scene was like that little fisticuff stuff at the White Castle, and then the dude that played Han Solo zapped Riri Williams like a couple times, and it was over in like less than 30 seconds. And then her fight with Parker at the end, that was like really short too, and like it was just like she charged up and then tricked him into thinking she was her, and then he hit him with the whammy, and that was it. Like
the
it
show?
was real lame. Like a lot of it was a lot of crying, a lot of this interpersonal drama where they basically don't even play out like super emotional, complicated scenes. They just basically just shout back and forth, trauma dump on each other, in a very expository way.
Hmm.
And it's supposed to like get me to relate to them. They were like, my stepdad died and my best friend. And then I'm supposed to just think like, oh yeah, that's sad or something. But they never really like they try to do stuff with her like in flashback form where like he's at the garage and he's being like, very stereotypical nice guy, good guy Greg dad, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
hey Riri, you can't care about your science stuff now. You gotta go outside and play. Oh, come on, give me back my power converter or whatever, whatever stuff she's talking about. Because Riri as a character has to always have a science reference, has to reference something scientific
and
at
it's
all
and
times.
it's mad annoying.
They
But
have to prove that she is a science nerd at all times. It's like they're trying to. It's like the show's trying to get a government grant for like science bro awards or something. I don't know, like what is this? Like a STEM commercial or something? It's just like, can she just be regular for like 5 minutes?
it's,
Like tell a joke or something? Like
it was like they were trying to invent a new genre of power fantasy. Power fantasies work when the power fantasy is about action. Like, yo, you don't know about John Wick, though. Man. I saw him kill, off a guy, off three guys with a pencil, or I don't know, the Doomslayer. Watch out for him. He killed like all the demons in hell, or something. You know, power fantasies don't work like for intelligence, because then it just like it seems. What's the word I'm looking for? It just seems like it's too full of itself. Like I'm just like, okay, that you
All right,
just show me the
nerd.
intelligence.
Yes, like we know, all right. You're building the suit and all this. Like you get it. Like you don't have to keep proving it. Like, oh yeah, she's tinkering and she's yapping about some science jargon and stuff. It's like, give me a break. Can we get to the story? Like we can cut like 2 episodes out of this thing.
I got a more successful power fantasy from the 1 minute and 20-second trailer of Jean Grey that dropped today, where she like I don't know was doing super moves with the Phoenix, and I was like, whoa, yeah, she's somebody to be messed with, and they didn't have to say anything. It was just Jean on the screen, like you know.
They're padding out the show so bad they like repeated like scenes twice. It was like there's a scene where like Riri Williams' mom is scolding her, saying, "Why are you doing all this, Riri?" And she's like, "Because I can. I built the suit because I could." And I'm like, "All right." And then and then after like the AI thing, like AI Natalie disappears or whatever, they
Mhm.
basically repeat the same scene over again. Like, why are you doing all this? Like, because I could. You know, it's just like we had this scene already. We already know that Riri Williams is stubborn and she's just making decisions. Like we just haven't. It's just over and over again the same conversations.
The reason that this show doesn't work is not because all the well, okay, one of the reasons that the show doesn't work is not only because like all the aforementioned, I sure all the YouTubers gonna say like, oh, it's woke, and the characters is like lame and
Right.
soft,
Or the
and
fact like, oh, that she's a thief makes it bad.
right,
And it's like, well, we watch shows like as if like I don't know, black characters can't be thieves, and it can't be a good show or a movie. That's not true
right,
because all
you're
the
right,
hood movies were good. Set It Off was a good movie. Like New Jack City was a good movie.
right,
Like what I'm saying. Like that's not an issue per se. Like
yeah,
I'm not trying to be like they can't play villains because that's what we complain about too. Like black people could be villains,
right. And I
but
agree.
like
So the reason that this show is failed in my eyes is because it's a lackluster crime drama.
yes, it's not
It's a
hype at
failed
all,
crime
bro.
drama. Like, bro, okay, you made a crime drama, right? I'd
Mhm.
rather be watching Scarface. I'd rather be watching New Jack City. Like, what am I?
Things are happening. There's a forward momentum to these things. And a lot of these side characters are like super underdeveloped or lame. Just
Yeah,
straight up lame. Like the Joe character is super lame.
yeah. Like, I,
Like he's just there to be like a dork. And I mean, like, we get it, but like, and then near the end, I guess he's standing up to him for himself a little bit to Riri, who's not bullied by like a kid. But it's like at that point, it's
well, I
like,
guess she's 20, so he's bullied by
right, I
like
guess.
like
They were always referred to her as a kid, like her mom is like, that's what I'm here for, Riri. I'm here to take care of the family. So I'm like, is she 20? Is she a kid? That's why I got confused.
nah, she's 20.
Like, I remember the other day I was asking Sean, like, she's a kid, right, in the show. I was like, no, dude, remember she said she was in college and they referred to her like, oh, okay. Because in the show they treat her like she's a kid joining a gang,
Right,
not like a college age woman who's a super genius, knowing that I shouldn't be doing this. She had to like a little, person from the hood that don't know anything.
right. But remember,
And
according to
really,
the
if she is a super genius like that, then she could really be getting like scholarships and grants and even if she went to another country, even if she went to like China, like one of I don't know, America's economic adversaries, they probably give her the grant and all that stuff and all that, like.
the
But it says she's choosing to steal, which means that she likes to do bad things, right? Like
yes,
Rotarian.
yeah. I like to
And I'll
bet.
watch a show if a person wants to do that, but can it at least be funny, entertaining? The heist have a little more ingenuity. The side characters be like Like all those characters they had no interesting dialogue scenes.
I think okay. So the other reason it fails is because two reasons. One, which I mentioned, I believe before, they label her as super genius. Okay, no super
Right.
genius is gonna just start doing stuff because somebody showed you a box of cash. Okay,
Right.
like stop. Like you good in school, you super genius, time to get this cash, yo. Like what is this? What is this rap crap? What is
Can't
like,
she just like do crypto like all these other people? Like
yeah,
if she's a super genius or
like
something.
do higher skill crime or something. But like, so that's number one. Number two, it's because she's Ironheart, and what I mean by that is not because she's Ironheart and she should be a symbol after Iron Man and she shouldn't be doing those things, which is a valid point. But it's also because she has the suit. So I cannot think about this show in a crime drama way because she has an entire clunky suit to help do the crimes. It would be better if this show had nothing to do about superheroes, if it was better written and it was just a, I don't know, some pseudo supernatural crime story about like selling yourself to the devil or something and the
Right.
consequences that happen when you do that.
Right. Because trying to put it in the larger context of the MCU just makes everything fall apart.
Yes.
Like she had connections to Wakanda and Shuri. At one point, they said the AI said call Shuri, and then she was like, "Well, I'm in too deep with this criminal stuff, so she's not gonna want to hear from me." And I'm like, "Why didn't you call her up in the beginning when you wanted funding for your suit?" It's like they started writing the show, and then like they decided to put that in at the end or like near the middle,
I saw somebody say like somebody had that argument on
right?
Twitter, and I can't even remember because I saw this movie quite a while ago. Try to say that Shuri said you can't have uh, technology from Wakanda like on the outside, and I'm like, hold on, family, that don't make any sense because. Okay, granted they didn't know about Captain America's shield, vibranium. Didn't they give Bucky a whole arm? It's outside Wakanda. They gave Sam a whole suit. Did they not? Like, I didn't see that movie, but I'm pretty sure that Sam's suit is made out of vibranium. At least his wings are for sure. I think the whole
They at least
suit.
should have addressed it, like have her call up Shuri and say, "Hey, I got this new idea for Iron Man suit. You know, you can give me the funding. It'll only cost this much." And then they probably, I don't know, at least have her hang up and be like, "Nah, we're not interested in that." I mean, that would not make any sense either.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that would make me mad too. But at least like make the effort. But they didn't even do that. It's a failed crime drama about
or
somebody
have
that's a
scenes where she's like, I don't know, talking to some crypto bro and trying to get investments, and they're like, "Nah, we're not interested in that."
right.
You know, don't. She just like said, "Oh, I got kicked out of school after helping kids cheat on their tests." So she's already like a jerk person, but she can at least be funny. You know, like how like they have these characters in movies, like these 80s movies, like they're like some kind of swindler or like some Van Wilder type character or some other person.
Mhm.
But at least they're like charming or like they got jokes and it's like, oh, he's like a con man scamp. You know, like
Right.
it really doesn't even have that. Like the character has like no charm that would help make her villainry go down a little easier for entertainment value. You get what I'm saying?
And
She's like a very stoic character.
like yo, you can't be a superhero show and a crime drama where you're teaching about like how low you can get in life. And now
Like
I'm so
it's a
I
silly
suppose
show. It's a serious show. You know, like Chris Tucker from Money Talks, he was trying to like hustle like whatever, like concert tickets and all this other stuff in the beginning of the movie. Like, at least it's funny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a person you want to see and you care about him. And then like his girlfriend's like, Chris Tucker, you got to stop acting like a fool or something. You just got Franklin, you got arrested like last week or something. He's like, come on, man, like give me a break. Like it is like we'll watch that guy all day long. But like,
yeah, just
Riri is very
entertaining.
dour and hurt.
Chris Tucker was probably more entertaining. I mean, he was probably more heroic in that movie. I'm sure if I watch back.
And like later in the end, yeah, like he goes through the journey of him like trying to stop real villains doing bad things, and this is the trajectory I thought this show would go into. But then at the end with Mephisto, she just becomes like, "Oh, I'll do a deal with the devil." Like all the lessons she learned was like eroded at the last minute
So she had no character development, basically.
because her AI disappeared after what 2 weeks or something of knowing her or something or whatever it is. Like you're gonna make a deal with the devil for what could be your immortal soul for an AI character that you could probably recreate on your own in from now till 10 years with your super genius mind. You could probably figure it out.
Also, I just want to say this is not like when Spider-Man wanted Doctor Strange to do like reversal spells and everything, because Spider-Man was still saving people.
Right.
He was making stupid decisions,
Right.
but he was still saving people. So he had morality. This joint is just like immoral person joins up with other immoral people, and she's only slightly more moral than them. So she decides, I, she decides to make him stop with the cape. I guess because her family won't get hurt. I'm trying to remember if there was a time she even cared about the outside world, outside of her circle of influence. Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I don't know. This show was stupid.
It just kind of falls apart because if you think about it long enough. And I don't know, like there was enough action. There wasn't enough stuff going on. It's a superhero show. They don't put on these suits and like superhero outfits for no reason, right?
That's
They
what I'm
put on to
saying.
fight people.
That's why the show should have been about heroics, because you have a hero suit on. Also, we have anti-heroes in Marvel Universe. I guess right now Riri as of this point, until she changed in the Doctor Doom movie or something, a anti-hero. But the anti-heroes that exist in talking about in terms of the MCU are still more heroic than Riri. Wolverine, the Punisher. Questionable. Oh, they're ending guys' lives. I'm like, well, I mean, they were doing really bad things. There was that scene in The Punisher where they went to go. I forgot why it was. They get information with that dude and found out he was a PDF file, and he was almost about to like erase him from the face of the earth. That was more heroic than anything that Riri did in this entire show.
I know that they're trying to win. They're trying to be like more sophisticated, or they think that they're being more sophisticated by not having as much action of like a CW show, for example. Like you watch an episode of like I don't know Smallville, or you watch an episode of Arrow or The Flash. Like they have at least like 3 action scenes in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be like, oh, this is a plot-driven action show. This is deep. This is a deep show. But when you listen to dialogue, it ain't that deep.
The dialogue is really bad too.
No.
And yeah, so for all intents and purposes, I can't even call her anti-hero. I can't even call her anti-hero because she ain't do nothing heroic. So she's just a person with a suit. What in the world? Forget us critiquing the show. For the people who's supposed to like this show, what are they supposed to think about Riri at this point?
Yeah, she like had all her friends and family tell her like, yeah, stop this, and they help her beat Parker in the end, and she wanted to run away. She wanted to flee.
Mm-hmm.
Some get out of town stuff. And she like they helped her like their mom bought like her old dad's car, and she made an iron suit out of it. Mm-hmm. That was like the best suit she ever made. Apparently.
That was too symmetrical, by the way, to be built out of that car. But I'm not even gonna get into that.
And then at the end of the day, she just like makes a deal with the devil anyway, and brings back her friend back to life. And she's gonna have to explain to her mom how this happened, and she's gonna have to lie and say she didn't know or tell the truth, and she could be mad. You made a deal with the devil, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna freak out her mom. And it's just like it just set her back to zero. And I guess they had to do something for like next season or whatever.
Oh, are they really gonna have another season?
Probably not. But it's like, but couldn't they do something else as a teaser for next season than that? Can't we just like at least say she's like on the road to become a real hero now instead of this I don't know what kind of character, petulant character with no humor.
The craziest part about all this is that people didn't like Riri didn't really take that well as far as a comic character. So then, now I don't know if she went through this criminal saga. I'm not exactly sure because I didn't read like all the books. I saw some reviews on where people went page by page on the books. I'm just like, so you had a character that people didn't really vibe with in the comic books. Decided to have the audacity to adapt her in live action. I don't know what possessed them to do that, and then proceeded to make her worse for some kind of moral commentary on selfishness and narcissism.
I think it's like they think her trash talking, very self confident ways is endearing to the audience. And I think they think that that's cool for some reason. Oh, she's a confident, young, female scientist person who's very sure of her abilities, even though the world is not. And she will let you know with a drop of a hat, like that she the bomb. They think that that's cool, like because it's a hip hop thing. Like hip hop, they always rapping like, "Yo, I'm better than you. I got the, I got more like money. I got like a shelf full of weapons. I got this. You're broke. You're the one sitting there counting coupons off the Pathmark Circular and all this. Like you broke as hell. I'm the man. Like so, I think that's like they think like that's like enough to be a character, but it really isn't though.
No,
Like in order for people like that to get over, you really gotta like mix it in with some other virtues and not just being like a hero. That's one way of doing it. That would be the good, they could say it's trope or whatever, but it's a superhero show, right? But anyway, they could
I
also be
think it
like
was a
charm,
superhero show.
humor, levity, doing something nice. Even these criminals sometimes will do something nice. Even Better Call Saul will do something nice for like the ladies that run the nail shop that he has his office out of. He'll say, "Hey ladies, I got some water for y'all. I got the new thing." And they're like, yeah. He likes doing these little things for them because it keeps them, the angry landlord lady happy sometimes, or like off his back. But he also likes doing this because it gives him a little thrill
Right.
himself, which shows like at least there's like a nugget of humanity in him before he goes to do a scheme. Or like Dexter, right? He's some serial killer who like kills people and is kind of creepy and stuff, but he'll protect his family to the death. He'll like his friends are like his priority, and he'll like come in with a pizza. He's doing that stuff to like get him off the scent that he's really crazy, but he'll still at least bring the pizza to the police station or something. Like we don't have any of that from Riri.
No, she's just a criminal.
Stoic and like,
She saw the
yeah, I'm
cash
in
and
it for
said, "I'm
me.
down."
Right. So there's no balance to her character that makes the show have to work harder than it has to, and they don't work harder to
By
make
the
it pull.
by the way, y'all, we're not even talking about balance for a superhero because we're already throwing that out the window. This is not a superhero story.
Right.
We're talking about balance for a criminal character,
Right. They're not even giving
like a
us. They're not
well
giving
written.
us any in to enjoy her as a character. Like they're not giving us any kind of leeway, like any kind of buy-in.
They couldn't even write her on par with Grand Theft Auto 5, bro.
Right. Like at least like who's those characters? Like Trevor's just insane, but he says funny
Trevor,
things.
Michael,
The
and
main dude, what's his name?
Michael, and
Yeah,
then
Michael. He's funny. He's making fun of his like millennial son who's like sitting there playing video games and stuff.
right, and then you got
Like,
Franklin from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And then you got
yeah,
Trevor, who's insane. It's actually a good cast, to be
right,
honest. Huh?
right. And they have things. It's like they have like they're funny. They have some insight. Like he wants his son to stop being a bum. He wants his like this guy Franklin just trying to like getting dissed by his boy, but like he's trying. It's like at least it's like
right.
he has like it's like
But it's
give
funny.
us something because humor denotes intelligence as well. Like a funny person is usually has a mind.
Right.
That's why they always say like Dave Chappelle is a brilliant person.
Mm-hmm.
Can Dave Chappelle like build an Iron Man suit? No, but he's intelligent. He doesn't have to because he could denote without him doing science. You don't know how to do science, but I'm saying like you could tell he's a smart person because he has insight. She could have that too,
Instead, they
but
just
she's
have her
kind of
say
just
it. Just
like
say it.
very dry as a character, very dry.
I'm iconic. Oh, by the way, Mephisto
Right,
repeats the line "iconic." I think at the end.
right.
I'm just like, that's why I thought. That's why I thought like nearing the show. I was like, oh, this is a commentary on hip hop or something. Like, I look, man.
Or she's iconic, yeah. You know how those rappers they always had to like Jay-Z, then like all these people say they were like drug dealers before they hit it big with rap, or like Ice-T, he was a pimp.
Right.
He was in the HBO show A Pimps Up, Hose Down, the HBO True Life Story, whatever. And I guess like Riri Williams, in order for her to get her, rap deal or AKA her suit being built, she gotta like do some crimes. So maybe that's like, and then the devil shows up and offers you a deal. Like the devil shows up and offers like Jay-Z a deal, or
Right.
Diddy, and then they become hip hop superstars, right? Like I was telling you, the Rain Man conspiracy.
Yeah. Which I still got to go look up.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's
and
that's.
I sent to you with a message. So if you want to look that up, go.
All right, hold on.
I'm gonna go to chat.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
We were just ranting. We're probably gonna use try to cobble up a video of this or something. Maybe. Um,
right.
this is
So
a very interesting. I the show was not good, but it was interesting to dissect because it was not what it was definitely not the show that I thought it was gonna be. Like I knew she was gonna be annoying. I already knew
right.
that. I didn't expect them to go some like, oh, we're gonna dissect my morality, but then proceeded to do it in a very unsuccessful way. I didn't know that was what we were gonna do. Not after Tony. Not after this man doing sacrificing himself for the entire universe. Like now it's time for cash, money, crime. Like iconic. I need respect. The town is so small. I need to get my
Get
big
my
ups.
respect. Put respect on my name.
This is what we and to Marvel and all the allies employed within. This is what we doing with black people. I don't really care. Like we said at the beginning of the show, because you can write any race of any color that way. I'm just saying from their perspective, since they seem to be the allies, they probably want to use some like black girl magic analogy on this show. And I'm like, so this is what y'all came up with? I thought y'all have been a little more careful than that. This is kind of bold. Bold of you to do. Okay.
Even like Menace to Society, old dog was like, "What you say about my mama and stuff? Hey, anybody want a hamburger?" Like this was trying to be funny. Like he was a real
Rain
dirtbag,
Man. Hold on. Rain Man.
right? The Rain Man conspiracy, bro.
What is happening? I got
All right, this is
you can go read the comments. I'm gonna look through this.
okay. I'll scroll back a little bit.
Oh wait. Oh, Rain Man is not a person. Rain Man is a
No,
demonic entity. Oh, full man. Full name Baphomet implied. Oh, good grief. Yeah, he has many names. Rain Man, the entity, the Rain Man entity, the devil. I did not know about this lore. According to conspiracy theories, Rain Man is a powerful demon who makes deals with those who aspire to make it big in the industry. With the noun rain, it is defined as water falling as hard as rainwater, or anything watery. Interesting.
here's another one right here. I sent you one that's more reader friendly.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, Alpha Proto says, "I'm not sure if the Marvel world really knows about magic. I'm surprised people who trained at the Magic Academy can disclose that so nonchalantly." I know. Apparently they can.
I
Go into a
mean,
magic shop, you could just say whatever.
true. I was just saying, like, Gargantos was like, I don't know, ravaging the streets And
Yeah. Also, that's like the millennial writing. It's sort of like it came from like it started with Buffy. Unfortunately, Buffy is a good show up until like a certain point, but you sort of say things that are fantastical in a matter of fact way, like, oh yeah, I did a thing.
oh, I mean
So
people that
that's
know
how
about magic, like the actual like people. Well, I guess that excuse.
like Zelma and those people, like
Well,
just like, yeah,
Karmatage was the
whatever.
excuse.
Oh my bad.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, Karmatage was the excuse.
Uh, let's see. Clarence Price had a WCW Goldberg squash match. Yeah, pretty much. Parker got squashed like Goldberg back. Goldberg used to do Goldberg, boom,
You talking about Parker?
boom,
My man
boom,
got
boom, boom.
Parker got packed up.
Do, 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 do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember when Goldberg? He was like squashing everybody, and then like the NWO, they had to have a scheme to get him out of the match. So they said that Miss Elizabeth was sexually harassed by Goldberg or something.
What? That was the
then they brought,
storyline.
yeah, and then they brought a bunch of cops and they aimed guns at like Goldberg and they like put him in a room or something. They said, and he's trying to talk to the cops. He's like, Goldberg, you gotta come with me. And he's like, what? And he knew like the cop's name for some reason. I don't know. Like he did because he's, I guess he's so cool. He's cool with the police and he's like a real American hero or something. And he's like, Jerry, you know me. You know that I wouldn't do something like this. I was like, I don't even know like how he know this dude's name. I don't know. He just got it like that. And then like he got him like in the back, so he might not do the match tonight. And then they have like they do the show, the WCW Nitro. It's going on, right? And then they're also interviewing Miss Elizabeth like in the in another room
Yeah.
because she's down with the NWO. She's like Lex Luger's woman or something. And he's trying to say like, oh, so you met Goldberg at like 3 o'clock. And then she said, yeah, I met him at 3 o'clock. And he says, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you met Goldberg at 4 o'clock or something like that. Whatever. She had to trap him in some lie. I'm just
Right.
paraphrasing. She's like, yeah, yeah. And he said, no, but you said 3 before. And, oh, but I think it's all lies. So, and then like they get out of here or something. And then like now Goldberg, you free, and he can now do the match. So he runs in.
So they solved the joint in like the same.
Same episode and stuff. It was like a real like Me Too mystery.
Yo,
Back in the 90s, bro.
yo, shit. That sounds like it's
By
more.
then,
That's more
yeah,
entertaining than Ironheart. That's a,
true. And by then, I think like WCW was in its attitude. WWF was in its attitude era, whatever. WWE.
mhm.
So it was still beating WCW. But WCW just had these janky storylines that I just love. It was just funny. And a story like that is like way more entertaining than go on wrestling right now.
Oh yeah,
For the record,
agreed.
Goldberg's like, what? I don't even. Clarence Price says, Riri ain't even a hero for hire. True.
Facts.
Jon Snow that says this show needs a father figure. Facts.
Man, listen, I ain't want to go there, but
They had a stepdad and he died. They couldn't even get a real dad. His dad has stepped up.
can't have black fathers. What you talking about? They're about
They
to
don't
make
exist.
Blade a deadbeat dad. Y'all hate Marvel, bro. Yo, Marvel. Yo, son, come. You, not. Oh, sorry. I just had to crash on one for a second.
Alpha Proto says, does this make pizza evil? The one that makes me end my diets? True. Pizza is never evil.
Right.
It says heavenly. Clarence King Slider says, I mean, there's a conspiracy theories on how people use the word pizza. That's true.
That's
Can't
true.
talk about that here. I don't know anything about that.
I mean, that's FBI knowledge, so.
Terrence Price says, you're gonna have to, if you have to say genius, then you're not a genius.
Facts.
Let's see.
The father and stepfather isn't here. A 2-for-1 special.
Facts. Damn. No positive role models.
All he had was who? Xavier?
Yeah, he come in, hey, sub black people.
So black people that I don't know what positive role. Get him up out of here.
El Monster says,
Oh,
when was you? Scarlet Witch was crazy. Yeah. He wasn't hired yet. The show was in limbo for a while, so
oh yeah, because then Mephisto create her. I forgot how that works.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Yo, how gonna introduce him in this whack ass show. Anyway,
Clarence Price says it's a Hallmark superhero show. Yeah, pretty much. They took no ambition on this fight. They had $250 million budget. They didn't have any action scenes. They're supposed to say this suit's supposed to be better than Iron Man's, and we didn't even see it flex at all.
she flew a couple times, and she smashed one truck. Oh boy.
Let's see. El Monster says, so when are you guys gonna do a rival stream while drawing at the same time?
I wouldn't mind doing a. Now hold on. Wait. When you say rival stream, please explain. Do you mean me playing the game, or me drawing?
And drawing.
I do it. I do it both. Listen, I just want to make it known I am not a top rivals player. Okay, I only just made a gold rank 2. Matter of fact, no, I got knocked down from it because somebody wanted to go AFK and quit the team battle. So it was 5 versus 6, and we lost. Anyway, very annoying.
Proto says Nino Brown. Yeah, they got to make. Too bad they didn't make New Jack City 2, but it probably would have been bad.
No facts.
I hope they don't make it now. I don't want like the son of Nino and played by.
Haven't they been threatening to make a remake of New Jack City for like the longest?
Oh, I hope not.
They need to stop. Hollywood need to stop making movies. To be honest, huh? Just like
they should re-release New Jack City in IMAX.
Facts.
John Snow says crime drama with a tech character and it's all magic based. Yeah, it's like they gave up on the science and they have to silo some of these concepts after a while. Like they should like just make it the tech show, just like how Daredevil is the street level martial arts show or guns.
Right.
They don't do too much with the magic stuff. Now that guy White Tiger, I guess he had like some kind of magic amulet that gave him just like regular strength, but it wasn't anything too crazy.
Yeah. Agreed. But
he didn't do a lot.
Right. See, the reason the Avengers work is because they already solidified their power source, and they're just going to do that onto themselves.
Right. It's just like it's a meetup. Now they're all meeting up in one movie.
Right.
Clarence Price says, didn't Wakanda have trade deals with the government which created the Sentinel exteriors? Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Sheesh.
Alpha Proto says, how is Riri an anti-hero? Anti-heroes at least help others. Like Riri only does things to help herself. Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying before, like Better Call Saul at least like help somebody. He helped those ladies get like money from the mesothelioma or whatever he was trying to do. Like, like he tried to do something. John Snow says, let's be real. The MCU shows have been C or D level at best. I like Loki, and it's a solid B.
I agree.
Yeah, they're not very good.
I agree.
Clarence Price trying to cater to middle-aged women in a male-dominated market is the results you get.
Listen. Yes.
I mean, at this point, it can't be very male-dominated. I mean, we the only two males that probably watch this show. Like
you,
and
Nerdrotic, and Kata.
Right.
That's it.
And feels babyface probably. I don't know. Maybe this is too much for him. I don't know. I know he's back. It's like they made this show so that he could back up the Brinks trunk. Like
I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he's getting past Slug.
Gonna crash out on Slug. Nah, man. This guy, he got to pay for a new house, bro. He got probably got 3 mansions off of the cringe that Hollywood produced. He's probably all over this.
Even I had to I'm watching it and I'm like, this is the crew I be.
I think they make these shows to make like Neurotic rich.
Maybe.
I think they must have do they have a side deal? Like you make the shows, I'll get rich, and then like I don't know, but I don't understand if that was true. I don't even know what the arrangement would be. But at this point, Disney's just embarrassing himself with these shows.
If that's the truth, Marvel, listen, we're a small channel. You can reach out to us and we'll rage bait for you too.
Is that how it works? The rage bait market? I guess that's how it works. Like people promote. They can't make a good show.
I'm not saying that those YouTubers are rage baiting. By the way,
no, I'm not saying they're rage baiting.
Right?
I
know you're not saying that. I just wanted to make it clear.
Of course.
Yeah, because I mean, this show is ridiculous, and if people want to talk about it as being ridiculous, by all means, do it. Because we're doing the same thing right now. This failed crime drama.
No, they're getting rich. I don't know. Disney's losing money. them, a lot of people getting money. Like, so I don't know what the scheme is. And then secretly they will lose money. And it's like, nah, I think that guy was on Piers Morgan the other day. Like, that guy Han Solo is on the Riri show, which is a flop, right? I mean, with the audience.
But I'm just saying, Disney, if you want people to do reviews of your stuff, and you want to sponsor up and coming channel, you could reach out to us. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know
Actually,
about that.
nah.
I don't. That's like Mephisto. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on, I'm not learning the lessons from the show.
see, you like Riri. Maybe this show would make a lot of sense because he was ready to take some satanic deal. So maybe the show is resonant. I take it all back.
From the evil mouse.
I'll take it all back.
Just sign here.
I mean, I would like better shows to be made so we can actually like shows. I mean,
I heard
it's
that.
like, yeah, I would like it to be good. I mean, this show is like, bro, and Coogler, his name is on this stuff.
Yeah.
Up on the poster and all this. And he got possession of X-Files right now. And it's like, bro, X-Files don't need any more problems. Okay? X-Files don't need any more issues.
I don't know, man. I might crash out on X-Files, bro. Because this, like, reviewing this is funny.
Because, you know, like how like George Lucas was like, with Star Wars, it was starting to fall off with like, okay, the prequels weren't as good as the originals. But at least it was still Star Wars. And there was nothing too damaging to the canon that it can't make a better movie later.
Right.
Until Disney took over and they ruined Star Wars forever. At least with the Chris Carter stuff on X-Files, like the last 2 seasons, I didn't see all of the last season, but the season before that were like, eh. And I'm like, but there was nothing done there that can't be undone or redone. But now if it's Coogler, it might put it in a position where it could never recover from that period based off of this.
Right.
But who knows, you know, it was a studio interference and it was actually a better show than what they originally had. I don't know. Alpha Proto says that's the problem. Oh, wait, he says the writers of Ironheart need to remember Batman's words from Batman Begins. It's not who I am, it's what I do that defines me.
I mean,
and he says the problem with the people currently writing heroes in comics and movies, they think that since they are writing the character who is supposed to be a hero, everything they do is justified.
That's weird. That's so weird. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what they do. It's Riri. I'm like, what's that mean? I'm seeing her now in real time doing messed up stuff. Oh, because she was horrified by it? Well, you weren't horrified enough to take that money? Looked at the box of money, like, I ain't doing this. Isn't it illegal? Yeah. But look at this cash though. Ooh, word Parker. Big Parker, you know what I'm saying? My bad. I'll be bright and early for work tomorrow. With the suit that I dragged through the street. With visible to everybody.
Yeah, it says that's the one thing about Punisher. He has no gray area. He does not hesitate to do what he feels is right.
Yeah.
Clash Price says the way they depict Riri, I expect Nas "The World Is Yours" to be playing in the background, or Scarface "The World Is Yours" blimp to fly over her house.
No, oh my goodness, that'd be funny.
Right. Yo. It's like, I don't know, man. They think they're being mad deep, you know.
It can't be mad deep when it's a failed crime drama with a superhero suit in it for no reason.
Right. It's like, stop.
It's like these people wanted to write other scripts or something, and they decided.
Oh, word. Can we get the good kind? What happened to like? Speaking of Knots, can they just make Belly? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can they just re-release Belly or something? It's not a perfect movie, but it had cool stuff in it.
Like, either you gonna make a crime movie, or you gonna call, like, I don't know, David Goyer or something, bro. Like, pick a lane. What are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know about this new self-serious hip hop generation. I like the old generation where it was like they had some of those like hip hop scholars, but then you also had like guys like DMX,
Right.
rapping about being a dog and having a split personality named Damien that like goes crazy and you
No, I
know
think Damien.
he,
What I
what
think
happened?
Damien actually was the devil.
Oh my bad, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damien was a devil. He has like the dog, like he's as a metaphor for how he acts
Right.
and he
Right.
has
Yeah.
actual dogs that he takes care of that are like dogs bite, dogs fight, scratch, sniff all night or whatever he rather.
Right.
And he was like a real guy, you know what I mean? Like he was a jovial guy, but he was also like he can get mean,
Yeah.
we got no hip hop stars like that anymore.
Who we got now? Who are these
I
people
don't know.
in the chat? Yo,
Oh,
anybody in the chat? Who are the new people in hip hop now?
bunch of Percocet addicts. I don't know, like just boring. AstroTurf celebrities. Yeah, DMX was like a real like hood poet from jail. Like
I'm about to see. This is how you
he
know
was
I'm
in
too
Belly.
old.
You know what I'm saying? Remember the bully Belly? He was in the scene with that guy, Rasta Man, whatever. I thought you were a real dread man. And then hold on.
Oh, I'm about to. I just typed in current rappers. Let me see. Oh, I typed in current rappers. They gave me people we obviously know, like Kanye, Drake, and Eminem. Like, no, man. I'm
These
talking.
new hood, these new hood movies and shows suck. Like we want New Jack City, Belly, Paid in Full. I love the game. I love the hustle. Like you don't have any lines like that anymore, man.
They played it up more, but then see, and this is why they shouldn't have used Ironheart to do this, because if they played it up like that, it would have been better. But then it's weird because it's Ironheart coming after Tony, who was a hero. So then they probably feel like, oh, we can't do that. Then that's why Ironheart shouldn't be doing it. You need pick somebody else, man. Do that. What is this doing in Marvel Comics? Like, I can't. I can't. Was there ever in Marvel Comics history where they had like 100% pure non-combat or light combat crime drama? Well, there might have been, but said Rose's daughter. It's her niece actually. Power. His niece. Excuse me. So yeah, that was Rhodey's niece, and she should have been the character. Then I said, "Give me some Passenger 57." Passenger 57 is fire. This is such a weird show, but it
is a weird show.
It was like bad, not for the reasons I thought it was bad. I mean, it was bad in those ways too, but like the bad from like the cringe factors or the woke factors didn't even matter. It paled into comparison to how much of a field commentary that it was. It's like the superheroes got in the way of the plot or something, or the failed superheroes.
Yeah, just make like a real hood show, but I don't know. It's a different time. Back in the day, you watch a hood show, it could be or a hood movie is pretty good.
Right.
You watch Fresh, it was good. That character Chucky from Fresh was annoying as hell.
Oh no. You know who I felt like the wagon kid was like the new Chucky. He still was not as annoying as Chucky though. Chucky, ooh, he played that part too well. That kid, I can't stand that kid.
Juice.
Oh right. Oh man, throwbacks. You know, man, come on. You know, like I don't know, like I'm not saying anything about anybody here in chat because y'all probably obviously know these movies, but like these new kids, they don't know about no Juice, man.
Yeah,
they don't know about no Juice,
true.
man. They don't know about freaking. They ain't never seen no New Jack City, man. Real hood movies.
Know about that. So sit your $5 down for make change.
Yo, I swear, you know Jack City, one of the most quotable movies of all time. All time. And they better not ever remake it. Or I'm writing a letter to somebody to complain. I'm gonna tell Wesley Snipes, please go shut this down.
He had the best lines, bro. His lady was like, that's how you kill people. He's like, baby, this is corny. This is some dynasty type stuff going on here. I took care of you. And he's like, remember with your mom's housing stuff, Bloomingdale's, like I took care of you. It's like
See, that's a funny line. They don't have none of that in freaking Ironheart.
Nah, man, they don't have the delivery, the swag. It's just all these lazy, like people acting like they in some, I don't know, they acting like some soulful saint people. Like they ain't got no humor, no nothing. Like they had some. Most of Ironheart, they had like these scenes with that guy Xavier bringing us like some jazz funk. Like I don't know, it's like I don't know, it's like some kind of like hipster Allstate commercial or something.
In Chicago. Come on, B.
Right.
Come on, B.
In Shot-Town.
All right, look.
Cash 303 says we watched New Jack.
Facts.
Well, I'm glad.
New Jack's fire.
Thank you, Cash.
I said, could we at least get a white man can't jump? We can't even get that.
Nah, bro. Woody and Wesley, they were trying to make up. They gotta can these bring them back? The 3P. They still alive. They did that in the Money Train. With J-Lo, they can all do it again. The Money Train too.
Yeah. J-Lo got free time now that she divorced. You know what I'm saying? Divorced from Batman.
Facts. Oh man.
That's why I made the thumbnail the way I was like, yo, what did I just watch? What did we just watch?
I don't know, bro. We watched a Wax Hood movie, stretched up and bloated to 6 episodes with cameoing an Iron Man outfit suit.
Basically. Yes. That's exactly what we do. I recommend this show? No. It fails at what it was trying to do.
Some people diss it on the premise level alone, where you can't have like an unlikable character grow into being learning lessons and they just want to be a straight up like good guy superhero. It could have been the way they intended to do it. It's just that the execution was bad or boring.
I thought
and didn't have enough thrills.
Right. I thought that they were making her unlikable to have her have a come up to learn a responsibility, kind of like any other Marvel movie with a character who's rising up does. But instead, they just were like, nah, we going straight to hell. I said, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, damn, that was like even worse than whatever you were doing before. Like you sold your soul to the devil at the end of the show. That's a real downer, bro. Like you were making mistakes through this whole thing, and then you made the ultimate mistakes that even career criminals won't do.
Facts.
Like some dude in jail right now is probably scared if the devil popped up and said, hey, you want to make a deal? They'd be like, hell no, bro. Hell no.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, why would Riri do that?
And Riri would did it like very coldly and calculated, like, okay, let's do this. And I'm like, are you serious? You are crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I going to watch season 2 of this person?
No, I'm good, B. So the rumor, by the way, is that, annoyingly so, and it's just a rumor, that the magic that she gains within the suit, and I guess through this deal with Mephisto, is going to help deal with Doctor Doom. That's mad annoying. I don't know what that means. I don't even know if it's true. And I'm just like, so you, the most unbearable person in the unbearable good guy in the MCU, are going to help defeat Doctor Doom, a.k.a. Robert Downey Jr., a.k.a. the old Iron Man. It's so much like triple insulting that I can't even like wrap my head around it. And I'm just like, all right, Marvel, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, I'm skipping most of your stuff anyway. Like, I'm dead skipping Fantastic Four. If you're looking, I'm telling you right now, and I don't think I'm going back on this. If y'all want a review from Fantastic Four, you're not getting it.
Oh, that's tough talk.
I'll give you a percentage.
Unless, hey, anybody want to super if somebody super chatted ticket money for you to watch Fantastic Four, would you watch it? Before Google takes his take, you know what I'm saying? I put him on the spot for that. I'm sorry. He's like, damn it.
I don't see Pedro
He's
Pascal
like,
running around with Todd is man.
Pedro Pascal, you want to put more money in Pedro Pascal's? He's in everything, bro. Somebody got to
Freaking
stop this.
Joel. Right, but by the way, before I go, um, I, yo, why are people like upset about Last of Us the show? When I say people, I don't mean like
Normies didn't know.
I
They
guess they didn't
didn't know
know.
he was gone, bro.
I
They
seen
didn't
the
know.
leak from back in the day. I didn't buy the game.
Everybody knows.
I didn't even talk about the game. I said, "Oh, that's what they're doing." Oh, Joel kicks the bucket. That's unfortunate. How did he pass? That's how he passed. Not in a blaze of glory. I was like, I'm good, and I never mentioned the game after that. I had. So when they said they were making a show, I was just like, oh, what am I gonna watch that for? Oh, but it's good. I seen what happened on YouTube. I'm good. So like now people are like, I can't believe this. Like, what do you mean you can't believe it? What? Did you? Oh, y'all didn't play the game? Oh, okay.
By the way, like the video if you haven't
Yes.
liked the video already. So on the replay, people can see our nonsense. You know, I think we had good insight this episode.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, I try to
we
be
got to the
fair.
bottom of it, right?
Yeah, I try to be fair. I ain't trying to like sit down and just be
Firm, but he's fair. You know?
surface level. But I'm saying why the show didn't work. Like it can't work.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
inherently can't work because you can't really do that with superheroes. You can't do the premise that they used with superheroes because it's weird.
Power 1000 says in the next issue of Cyberpunk Fairy Tale, where draw a Beanie Siegel and Freeway shoot them. Ironheart. What?
Yeah, we'll
Oh man.
we'll make sure to draw
In State Property, the movie. What? By the way, the most underrated like hood character in a hood movie back in the day was probably paid in full the character of Kermit, the annoying. They called. I don't know. That's what Cameron called him. In the movie, he was like this irritating little gangster man that ran the block. It would, you know, and eventually, like, Cameron, like, you know, got rid of him or something.
Oh man.
But he was very nuancedly annoying in a way like I've never seen in a movie before or since.
Interesting.
Like very interesting character. I don't know if
I've never seen
only
Paid in Full.
it's pretty good. I mean, you know, it doesn't have the lavish, you know, budget of like it's not New Jack or like
right.
You know, Menace to Society, but it's good. Like it's good enough. Like it has interesting stuff, you know.
Okay.
Cameron is good in it, you know, that guy. Interesting. Flick. I like it. I don't know if anybody, no one in the chat probably know what I'm talking about.
We old, y'all. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, L Monster says people who watch this are gonna like it just for the action only whenever that happens in these Marvel shows. Yeah, the problem is that Ironheart didn't have enough action.
Yeah.
The action is supposed to make the other stuff go down. It's just raw dose of like
cringe
whatever.
Or feel commentary.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
Yeah. We're gonna I'm not promising, but we'll try to go live tomorrow. I have no idea what we're gonna.
Yeah, but we'll think of a topic. We'll think of something. We'll let you guys know if we can ahead of time. But
right.
Yeah, we'll come on. We'll do we'll try and we'll think of something. Yeah,
and I don't know how to see how packed I can do my day because I know in the weekend I'm going away see family. But I'll try to do a draw stream. Because I might be free-ish tomorrow, and then we'll jump in on my digital art riot channel, and then we'll jump on here on React to Draw. But yeah, if any of that happening, we'll make sure to drop that in social media and Discord and all that. But I just realized the time, and I got to get to bed. So yeah,
thank you for stopping by.
Right,
staying with us in the wee hours of the night, talking about Ironheart, hood movies. The Rain Man conspiracy, which I'm surprised more people didn't know about. So I was the only one apparently I was the only one on the internet in 2010 looking up hip hop conspiracy theories, dealing with supernatural beings.
Interesting.
There you go. It says React and Draw will also draw the guy from Mo Better Blues that beat up the one dude with a trumpet to take down Riri and Rachel Zegler.
Oh yeah, wasn't Rachel in something recently, like a play? I don't know. I don't keep
She's
up.
like in Evita, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina.
Yeah,
Madonna was in the movie before her and stuff. I guess this is where she wound up.
she is so uninteresting. I'm just like,
This is the new superstars are giving us, okay? Um,
that's why I never cover
yeah.
her because I'm just like, all right, whatever, Rach, do your thing or something.
All right, guys, hit the bell for notifications.
Yep.
Check out Red Aside Punk Fairy Tale, redcomicbook.com.
Get your
Check the links in
copy.
the description. Join the Discord. If you post your art in the poster art section in our Discord, we will show it on the next stream.
Right.
We're gonna spend tonight thinking up a topic and
Right.
more videos. Can we just talk about like New Jack City? Like no,
I
no,
do
we
a
can't.
stream on New Jack City.
Oh man, I wish. We'll see. Anyway.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you when we're on again. Peace out.
Oh wait, Ralph Proto says
Mm.
Red Volume 2, Red Lobster Bank kills Silver security guard. And she feels bad about it, so it's okay.
True heroics, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's the new writing scheme. I'll be sure to take notes. Oh man.
how's she
All right, anyway,
how's she gonna
yeah, what
stand
happened?
next to how's she gonna stand next to the heroes in Doomsday? Who all did more heroic stuff now?
They have to fight her. Maybe she's gonna be the villain of Doomsday. Maybe
Maybe,
she's a secret villain.
is she gonna team up with Doctor Doom?
I guess so.
I,
Oh man, maybe it's a new thing. They always said she was kind of annoying in the comics, so maybe this is the direction they want to take it. And then she will learn her lesson after they defeat her.
bro, I can't.
I don't know. She made a little deal with the devil. What can we do? Anyway.
Franklin, please reboot this whole thing, bro. Snap your fingers, little baby, and reboot this whole thing. Read Richard's Kid. Anyway, y'all, we'll catch you most likely tomorrow.